Chapter 4233 Emonien's soul fluctuates violently because of his scolding. At that moment his position is not only perceived by Long Chen, but also by Yen Wuji. Yen Wuji disappears in an instant. When he appears again, he smashes at the void with a blow, and the void collapses. This time, he didn't hit the air with his fist. Under the distortion of the void, a coffin appeared. It was a crystal coffin, covered with ancient runes, but without any breath. On the crystal coffin, Emonien is riding on it. Seeing Yen Wuji come, he has a shovel in his hand. The shovel was black and unremarkable, with mud on it, as if it had just been taken from the farmland. Yen Wuji smashes the void with one punch, exposing the figure of Emonien. At that moment, countless strong people in the Terran see Emonien's lineup and immediately gnash their teeth. The ancestral tombs of these strong men were also visited by Emonien. They were the forces who posted Emonien's wanted portraits. When they saw Emonien, they all wanted to kill him. "They'll see where you're going this time. Go to hell." One punch forces Emonien's figure. Yen Wuji is surprised and happy. He steps on the void, and people rush at Emonien like a flash of lightning. "Cut, will I be afraid of you one-on-one?" Emonien sneers, then stands on the crystal coffin, holding a shovel. Facing the rushing Yen Wuji, up is a shovel. Bang! Yen Wuji hit the shovel with a fist, and the whole Holy King Challenge arena was shaken. The terrible waves swept all over the sky, and countless dark monsters were shocked to death. In the roar, the two of them stepped back at the same time, and even fought for half a weight. Yen Wuji's thigh suddenly pushed in the void, and people rushed to Emonien like an arrow away from the string, and did not give Emonien a chance to breathe at all. And just as he pours on Emonien, the coffin under Emonien's crotch suddenly stands up and opens. What? Yen Wuji's face changed greatly. When the crystal coffin was opened, he suddenly felt something bad in his heart. He was just about to step back, but Emonien seemed to have planned that he would run away. Who? The crystal coffin was pushed forward. Yen Wuji had to retreat instead of rushing from the front, so it took a certain amount of time. As a result, she was caught in the crystal coffin in an instant. Bang! The crystal coffin lid was closed, and it immediately closed tightly, trapping Yen Wuji firmly in it. "Little boy, one-on-one Laozi can kill you. Besides eating excrement, Laozi is not as good as you. What else can you do?" Emonien put Yen Wuji into the crystal coffin and was elated. At that moment, people inside and outside the challenge arena were all silly. They thought there would be a fierce fight between Yen Wuji and Emonien, but they didn't expect that Yen Wuji would be brought into the coffin by Emonien just after they met. Boom boom. The crystal coffin makes a loud noise. It seems that Yen Wuji is attacking the crystal coffin crazily. On the crystal coffin, countless runes light up, the ripples spread, and the void roars, but it can't be broken. How could that be? At this time, even the strong people of Dian royal family are silly. This has not started. Is it over? It was too sudden for them to accept. "Save your highness quickly." Suddenly, some of the strong men of the Dian royal family yelled, and then they all reacted. Hundreds of thousands of strong men killed Emonien together. I said, it can't be one-on-one every time. Since you want it, I'll give it to you. Emonien sneers and kicks on the crystal coffin. Bang! The crystal coffin trembled, like a meteor, flying straight to the strong of the Dian royal family. The strong men of Dian royal family didn't expect that Emonien gave them the crystal coffin directly. In a daze, they didn't care to guess what Emonien's intention was. They tried to pry open the crystal coffin one after another. After kicking the crystal coffin, Emonien ignored them and came to Long Chen. He said with a smile, "Brother, I heard you're not doing very well recently. It's like you're better than me. In Terran territory, your wanted portraits are all over the streets. Long Chen doesn't have a good way. He really doesn't mix well. Everyone can laugh at him, but Emonien doesn't have the qualification. Anyway, I'm better than you. My enemies are all in the Terran. And you, by the way, have you heard of a saying? Emonien Dao. What's that? There are tens of millions of people who are strong in 9 days, and Long Chen offends 85%. Ha, I didn't believe it at first. Now I believe it. Ha, looking at the countless races around the challenge arena, Emo Nien couldn't help laughing. Emo Nien's smile amused by Shishi's mother outside the challenge arena, and other strong people in Lingxiao Academy also looked strange. They have never heard of this sentence, but from the whole arena, it seems that there are only a few more people who are hostile to Longchen. Among the countless races such as the demons, the blood clan, the demons, the orcs, the night clan, the netherworld clan and so on, countless people look at Longchen and do not hide their intention to kill. Even among the Terrans, most of them are hostile to Longchen. On the one hand, Longchen is good enough to make countless people jealous. On the other hand, like the fraud of Longting business, countless people have secretly hated Longchen. Although they have no loss, they have been tricked, and they have also hated Longchen. In addition, the top forces of the human race, such as the Purple Blood Su family, the Immortal Dragon family, and the Renhuang family, are almost all the mortal enemies of Longchen. It's no exaggeration to say that 85% of them are the mortal enemies of Longchen. This Emo Nien is also infamous. Now the two people together, I'm afraid it's not 85%. Bai Shaole's mother said with a bitter smile. Although they are psychologically prepared, they know that when dragon dust enters the Holy King arena, there must be many thorns, but they never expect that there are more enemies than they think. Come on, don't talk about those useless things. What's the matter with the Holy King Challenge Arena? Why aren't you with us? Longchen asked. At this time Yen Wuji is trapped in the crystal coffin, no one is looking for their trouble, Longchen wants to make things clear. I don't know. We all come to Xinguang State normally. We should be in the same situation as you. We are all confused. Emo Nien shook his head. According to him, they also came from all over Jutian. When they came to Xinguang State, they met the same situation as Long Chen and others. They were all confused. I don't know why it's divided into two worlds, but I've got one thing clear. Emo Nien's face became serious. Which point? Long Chen is in a hurry. It's a trap. Emo Nien Dao. Damn, I'm not blind. He didn't know the key. The key to this trap may be to open a bigger trap, which may break the current pattern of the whole world. Emo Nien said in a deep voice. What? Long Chen was startled. If that's the case, the next trap would be terrible. www.novelhold.com, the fastest update of the web novel. Chapter 4234, What exactly? Longchen has a dignified face. It's no wonder that the sense of impending disaster came not from the distant future, but from his uneasiness. I don't know exactly. I've surveyed the terrain of the holy state and found that there is something wrong with the layout here. From the perspective of geomantic omen, this is a treasure land, a collection of all the spiritual chi of nirvana. It is also a place to live in. But I found that this treasure land seems to have been tampered with, and the endless chain has been injected with a trace of death. It's just that the place that affects the feng shui pattern here is too far away from here, and I don't have time to explore, so I can't determine the specific location. At the beginning, I didn't care. After all, it didn't affect here at all. But the moment I entered the challenge arena, I understood. That little breath of death is just a guide. It has no power of its own. Its function is to collect the blood and soul power of those strong people who died in the challenge arena of the Holy King. The power of the blood and soul of the 9 heavenly beings, combined with the breath of the dark monster, will form an unprecedented power. Now this challenge arena is gathering this kind of power, and the bead of Qi Yun is likely to be the key to detonating this power. Emo Nien Dao. Detonate this power? What do you mean? Is this to kill all the people in the Holy Kingdom? Long Chen took a breath of air conditioning, which is to take all the elites of 9 days. Emo Nien shook his head and said, It's not that simple. I've seen the feng shui pattern here. Once this power breaks out, it's aimed at a space gate. The gate of space? Long Chen was stunned. It's really a space gate, but that space gate is too far away from here, and there are celestial barriers between them. I only know that it's a space gate, but I don't have time to investigate. That's why I said that the Xinguang Arena is just a small trap. The purpose of the layout should be the gate of the space. Dao. Long Chen's heart leaps wildly. Who has such a big hand to control the Xinguang Challenge Arena? It's a force against heaven. Long Chen's understanding of Yan's character shows that this guy has no truth about small things and no lies about big things. He can't talk nonsense without absolute assurance. Yan continued, although I don't know who is behind the scenes, what is the purpose, what is hidden in the door of space. However, it would not be a good bird to use so many lives to complete this plan. Once the door of space is opened, the pattern of 9 days will be disrupted. It doesn't matter to disturb. I'm afraid that the controller behind the scenes has even more terrible plans. We are all reduced to his pawns. Therefore, we should find a way to disrupt his plan and not let him succeed. Open a door at the cost of endless lives. Is this man too brave to be attacked by others? Do you think any of these people in the arena know about it? Long Chen asked. Yan immediately then thumb. Cow force, this you all thought of. Long Chen is associated with someone secretly with rhythm, deliberately provoking everyone to fight, and then combined with these things that Yan said, just suspicious. There must be people who know it, but we don't know who it is, and they can't stand up foolishly. If they can risk their lives to get into the trap, it must be good for them, and it's a great advantage. So we have to keep an eye on them. Once the benefits come out, we'll take advantage of them. We can't take advantage of them. As for the idiot of the purple blood Su family who was beaten by you, I'm sure he didn't know. If he knew, he wouldn't have come to fight with you so early. Dao. How do you know I hit him? Long Chen can't help but be stunned. I've already searched for the soul quietly. I know everything that happened here. You should pay attention to the 8 immortal families. They must know, otherwise they would not be so stable and motionless. It's hard to say about the Dian royal family. They don't pay attention to everyone. They know it or they don't know it. Dao. Long Chen nodded. Just as Yan said, the 8 aristocratic families were very low-key and kept silent all the time. Except Long Outyan came out and said a few words, others were silent. Even Jiang Fengfei hid and didn't show up. After entering the challenge arena, Long Chen didn't see her, which is quite abnormal. Not only the 8 aristocratic families, but also many terrible strongmen have always kept a low profile. Today's challenge arena is like a sleeping volcano, which will erupt at any time, and then all kinds of terrible monsters will be killed. You say that the biggest advantage is not the pearl of luck? Long Chen whispered. It should be. The bead of qi transportation is related to the weather and transportation in September. It can't be controlled by people. Although someone can control the challenge arena and use the power of Qi Yunzhu, after using up, Qi Yunzhu should not disappear, and you can still fight for it. I just don't know what will happen to the bead of qi at that time. We have to keep an eye on it. Dao. Just as they were talking, there were more and more Diablo monsters in the challenge arena, and all ethnic groups fought hard to kill them. In this case, all ethnic groups had a large area of casualties. After all, they beat Teacher Fu to death with random fists. In this chaotic battlefield, unless they are top experts, once they are alone, they will surely die. Brothers, at this time, Guoran and others killed all the people and joined them. When they saw these dragon blood soldiers, they were very excited. The number of dragon blood soldiers increased from more than 2,000 to more than 5,000. When the dragon blood soldiers reunited, one by one they were boiling with enthusiasm. Looking back on the war of annihilating the world in Tianwu, it seemed that they were separated from each other. Along with Guoran and others, there are the weak who failed on the ladder, and the strong who supported Long Chen. The number of strong men in their team is extremely large, but the real strong men are less than 30% of the total number, so it took a lot of time to kill them. You're still so nosy. Yan looks at some of the practitioners with panic on their faces. He can't help shaking his head. He obviously doesn't agree with Long Chen. With these weak people, it will affect the overall efficiency of the operation, and it will also drag down themselves. Such a practice is very undesirable. It's no business. It's an inheritance. Long Chen said with a smile. What heritage? Yan didn't think so. Long Chen said seriously, The inheritance of the great emperors is the spiritual wealth passed on to me by the 5 great emperors. The strong should take more responsibility. Which one is not the most amazing person in the world, such as Brother Yunshang, Brother Qingshu, Brother Moli, Sister Hanwei, and Brother Xiang? If they don't care about their own affairs, they have already been in the fairyland for 9 days. Even if they have been in the fairyland for such a long time, they have fought countless battles and read hundreds of millions of Tianjiao. I have never seen anyone who can match them. If they don't care about their own business, Tianwu mainland will be gone for a long time. Will there be you and me? When Long Chen mentioned the 5 great emperors, Emon Yen's face looked respectful and nodded. Sorry, I shouldn't. Bang! Just when Emon Yen felt sorry for his words, there was a sudden explosion, and countless people exclaimed that Yen Wuji's crystal coffin had been opened. www.novelhold.com, the fastest update of the web novel. Chapter 4235. Aon Yen, you son of a bitch, die for me. When the crystal coffin was opened, Yen Wuji flew out of it. He roared to the sky, and his killing intention was full of air. But the moment he came out, everyone was startled. Yen Wuji, who was so invincible, was black all over, and his yellow robe turned into a black robe. The whole person was as if he had come out of the kitchen pit. He was extremely embarrassed. At the moment when Yen Wuji flies out of the crystal coffin, dozens of charred corpses fly out at the same time. When they see those corpses, some people exclaim, Taiga Yen Ma, those corpses are withered, just like firewood, and their runes have faded, but they are accompanied by terrible pressure. It's the corpse of the Yen Devil of Heaven class. Some people can see at a glance that those corpses have been dead for countless years, and they should have been refined into puppets. Now these puppets seem to have used up all their energy. After flying out of the crystal coffin, their bodies began to decay rapidly, and finally disappeared into dust. The puppet coffin is not as powerful as Tianmo's, but it's not sure that it's so powerful. In the crystal coffin, Yen Wuji fights with so many puppets at the same time. Although he looks embarrassed, he is not hurt. His strength is amazing. Yen Wuji flies out of the crystal coffin and looks at Emon Yen for the first time. His body moves like a flash of lightning. When Yen Wuji rushed in, the strong people of the royal family of Dian, who controlled the crystal coffin, exclaimed. They saw that the crystal coffin was in full bloom, and the power of terror bounced them away. The crystal coffin suddenly disappeared in place. When it appeared again, it had come to the front of Emon Yen. Originally, Yen Wuji rushed to Emon Yen. He was about to rush to Emon Yen. Suddenly, he saw the crystal coffin. His face changed and his direction changed. He suffered a big loss just now. The crystal coffin is a world of its own. If he hadn't defeated those Yen Devil puppets, people outside would not have been able to open the crystal coffin. He was scared by the pit. The crystal coffin was too strange. He was in the crystal coffin, and his strength was weakened a lot. Fortunately, he was strong enough. Even if he was weakened, he still defeated the puppets and killed them. But he suffered the loss of last time. He was afraid of this strange crystal coffin. He avoided the coffin and hit Emon Yen from another direction. Yen Wuji's attack speed is extremely fast, and the crystal coffin can't rotate easily. Yen Wuji is obviously very confident in his own speed. With a fist, he even covers the dragon dust. It seems that he is going to be 1 against 2. He'll take care of it. Emon Yen opens his mouth first, and the shovel appears in his hand. He uses the shovel as a shield to block Yen Wuji's attack. When the shovel explodes, the sound of gold and iron, and even the huge sparks can be seen splashing, and Emon Yen flies out with the crystal coffin. You watch the excitement first, pay attention to the surrounding dynamic. I accompany this silly child to play. Emon Yen speaks to Long Chen. Emon Yen suddenly put away the crystal coffin, and the man was still flying backward. He pointed to Yen Wuji with a shovel in his hand and scolded, "You bastard who avenged his kindness, if it wasn't for me, you would still be damp in the coffin. If you make trouble for no reason, I will be serious. I will dig you out and bury you again." Emon Yen cried out. "Roll at it," Yen Wuji yells at Emon Yen. Seeing that Emon Yen has put away the crystal coffin, he is in a state of great spirit. He waves his fists and kills Emon Yen. Damn, the mouth that ate excrement is smelly. How much did you eat that day? Are you going to burp? Emon Yen scolded. Death, Yen Wuji. When people see this scene, they are shocked. You know, Yen Wuji still doesn't summon visions at this time. He uses the most basic power to fight. But this kind of power is already the scene of countless supreme tripods. It's terrible to kill so many Yenma puppets in succession without any injury. I don't think he has really entered the fighting state yet. Someone sighed. The descendants of the emperor must have the blood of the emperor. Under the protection of their ancestors, they will burst out with all their strength. I don't know how amazing the power will burst out. Today, only Daxia and Dian are left among the descendants of the emperor. Daxia has completely declined. It is said that only Xia Guhong is left. And Xia Guhong is still a love fool. His lover died, and he was lonely all his life. He refused to marry, and he didn't even have any children. Once he died, the pulse of Daxia would be cut off. Some people can't help sighing. It is said that in the Taigu period, only the second emperor was left, and the other three emperors were severely injured in the war, and finally their luck declined and collapsed. Only the descendants of the emperor of Dian and the emperor of Daxia are left in the five emperors. Daxia's only blood is infatuation, which makes people admire and regret. Originally, the emperor has always been the hope of the human race. At the beginning, people learned that Yen Wuji was a noble queen. Some people were very excited and thought that the human race would finally have a real leader. It's hard for Yen Mo to be arrogant, even if she doesn't like others. But even if they can't convince the public, people have always been full of expectations for the strength of the Empress of Man. They all want to know how strong the descendants of the emperor are and whether they have inherited the emperor's supernatural power. Emperor, that is the supreme title of the human race. The name of the emperor also represents an era. The five emperors were born at the same time and ended at the same time. Although there are two queens, Dian and Daxia, they are only descendants and cannot represent the emperor. After the five emperors, there is no emperor. Even so, people are still in awe of the supreme existence of the emperor. They hope to see the former style of the emperor in Yen Wuji. Boom boom. Yen Wuji swings his fists and forces Emon Yen to step back. Emon Yen holds the humble spade, fighting and retreating. Although it seems that Yen Wuji has the upper hand, Emon Yen doesn't do his best. What are they doing? Isn't Yen Wuji saying that he wants to kill Emon Yen? Why don't you use the big killing tactics? Finally, someone was impatient. The long-awaited big move didn't come out. The fight between them was really boring. Yen Wuji is testing Emon Yen. As long as Emon Yen shows a flaw, Yen Wuji will burst out. Unfortunately, Emon Yen is so cunning that he can't lock Yen Wuji in. Can't lock Yen Wuji even if full burst, Emon Yen can also escape, so Yen Wuji full burst also useless. Therefore, they can only do so. Some of the older generation of strong people spoke and pointed out the key. Yen Wuji wants to kill Emon Yen more than anyone else, but he can't lock Emon Yen, but he can't use all his strength. But Long Chen doesn't think so. He knows that Yen Wuji is warming up, keeping the best fighting condition, and can break out at any time. Boom! At this moment, the challenge arena suddenly trembles, and the bead of qi suddenly spins rapidly. Finally, at that moment, Long Chen's pupil suddenly shrinks, and what Emon Yen said is about to appear. www.novelhold.com, the fastest update of the web novel. Chapter 4236, Suddenly, the bead of Qi Yun suddenly trembles and shoots 9 miraculous lights, and the light shield of the challenge arena is punctured. The border was broken down, and there were 9 huge holes, which were swept by the divine light. No matter what level of the dark monsters were killed. One of them is a divine light. It flies close to Longchen and others. It almost blows them. Longchen is scared. There is no danger in Longchen's side, but a divine light passes through the center of the demon army, and countless powerful demons are annihilated into ashes in an instant. Countless people were shocked. They couldn't understand what was going on. When they were shocked, something even more shocking happened. There are 9 big holes in the ring boundary. The 9 holes show 9 space doors, and the top space door is also distorted. Originally, this is the entrance of the Diablo, but now the endless Diablo has disappeared. And in that space passage, endless black gas is flowing, and the terrible pressure is blooming rapidly. It seems that there is something terrible monster on the stage. When this scene appears, Emon Yen and Yen Wuji retrogress at the same time. Instead of fighting again, they look up at the 10 channels above the void at the same time. Boom! 10 channels vibrate, 9 huge space doors slowly open, and then 9 huge figures appear. When seeing these figures, Long Chen can't help but take a breath of air. The first Dark Lord of Heaven. What shocked Long Chen was that these Dark Lords were not only the existence of congenital heaven level, but also had dark gold lines on their bodies. In the forbidden area of life, Long Chen fought against the Dark Lord. He knew the horror of the Dark Lord deeply. However, there are only a few dark gold lines on the Dark Lords in the forbidden area of life, but there are hundreds on these Dark Lords. Although they haven't been close to each other, the breath of these Dark Lords has already become frightening and difficult to breathe. Compared with the Dark Lords in the forbidden area of life, these Dark Lords are too powerful and far from the same level. This kind of gap is just like the difference between the innate and the acquired. There are 9 such horrors at once. If they attack, I'm afraid few people in the whole arena will survive in the end. Boom! Just when everyone was shocked by the 9 Dark Lords, the biggest channel in the middle trembled and a shadow appeared. Oh my God! When people see that figure, even the older generation of the heavenly power have a numb scalp and a look of shock. It was a huge dark monster. The dark monsters that appeared before were big enough to be comparable to mountains. And in front of this dark monster, they become small and big. The most terrible thing is that all the stripes on its body are dark gold, without any color. Boom! The monster's body is huge, space channel seems to be unable to accommodate it, space began to crack, as its body gradually through the space channel. People began to see that it was a huge creature with wings on its back and horns on its head. When its body was completely exposed, a violent pressure swept through the sky. There were countless Diablo monsters in the challenge arena, but when it appeared, those Diablo monsters stopped moving and their bodies became stiff. Shit! When the pressure of the dark monster with wings on his back came, Long Chen's eyes were full of horror. He could hardly believe his eyes. How can it be? This is the immortal inside and outside the challenge arena. Everyone was stunned. This dark monster with wings on his back was immortal. Its prestige made the strong in the challenge arena tremble and tremble. And outside the challenge arena, countless strong men also stood up. They looked at this terrible monster in horror and could not say a word. Where is the Holy King's challenge arena? It's a trap. It's to kill all the arrogance. Someone can't help roaring. Yes, immortal and strong people have appeared. Who can deal with this kind of existence? If we say that the 9 Dark Lords will make the strong man in the challenge arena die, and this dark monster with wings on his back appears, there is no way to survive. Not to mention these young disciples, even if all the older generation of strong people present work together, they are not immortal enough. Roar! Suddenly, in the door of the 9 spaces, 9 Dark Lords roared, and their voices shook the sky. Their silver runes lit up, and their violent prestige radiated the whole world. As soon as they appeared, they burst out with the strongest power, and in their breath, there was a kind of inexplicable solemn and stirring, as if they were going to die with everyone. The 9 Dark Lords, just like the 9 stars, burst out the most powerful light, and the air of killing poured out like a vast sea. 9 Dark Lords, around the dark monsters with wings on their backs, slowly pressed towards the center of the challenge arena just like the stars holding the moon. No, the one with wings is a corpse. Long Chen suddenly cried out. At the moment when Long Chen yells, a touch of enlightenment appears in Emon Yen's eyes. He yells excitedly, I understand that they are not here to kill us. They are all sacrificial objects. Long Chun starts to destroy this sacrifice, and we will be safe. Who? With that, Mo Nian went up against the current like a meteor and rushed to a Dark Lord. The fight between us is not over, so we want to escape? Mo Nian just flew out, and suddenly the void trembled. Yan Wuji stepped out and hit Mo Nian's back with a fist. Bang! Mo Nian didn't look at it, but with a shovel he blocked Yan Wuji's attack. He rushed forward and sneered, "Well, Yan Wuji, you bastard, you are the main messenger of this plot. You are going to pit everyone in the challenge arena to death. Fuck you!" Yan Wuji is very angry. He yells at Mo Nian and steps on the void. "If it wasn't for your trap, how could it stop me from destroying this sacrifice? You don't look like a good person for a long time, but I didn't expect that you should be so vicious. Except for eating excrement, people like you won't come to a good end." Mo Nian doesn't go to fight with Yan Wuji. While talking, he approaches the Dark Lords who are slowly descending. Mo Nian, this shout, immediately let countless people surprised and angry, if really as Mo Nian said, that Yan Wuji is too vicious. Although most people don't know Mo Nian and Yan Wuji, most people are willing to believe Mo Nian because of the so-called preconception. After all, Mo Nian wants to destroy the killing, and Yan Wuji is stopping Mo Nian. Just as Yan Wuji pursues Mo Nian, Long Chen moves, and a door of space is beside him. However, as Long Chen moves, his fierce sword chi points to the key of Long Chen. www.novelhold.com, the fastest update of the web novel. Chapter 4237. Long Chen knew that someone would stop him. The sword was fierce, fast and fierce. Where he attacked was the key of Long Chen. Boom! Long Chen stops to move forward, kicks out with his foot in the void, and the chi of the sword collapses. In the overlapping waves, Long Chen sees a young man with a long sword on his back. The man has a slender body, a gorgeous dress and jade belt. He has an extraordinary bearing and a handsome face, but he has a disgusting pride. He stands in the air and looks at Long Chen coldly. "Long Chen, right? I, Yi Wuchen, come from the immortal family Yi family. Pull out your sword. I will not kill those who are unprepared." That man is no other than Yi Wuchen, one of the immortal families. He looks at Long Chen coldly and goes to war. It seems that not only the Dian people but also the Yi family are going to stop us. That's interesting. Long Chen looked at Yi Wuchen, his eyes narrowed. It seems that things are more complicated than he imagined. But Long Chen didn't expect that it was the Terrans who stopped him, not the strong men of other races. Someone intercepted Long Chen, which shocked countless strong people. Is the immortal family also behind the scenes? Yi Wuchen sneered. Is it interesting for a thief to shout and catch a thief? Do you think all the people in the world are fools, and you are the only one who is smart? Oh, well, I'd like to hear your reasons for attacking me. Dragon Dust Light Tunnel. Although the doors of the 9 spaces open, those Dark Lords fall very slowly. If it's a sacrifice, as Mo Nian said, it will take some time to open. Long Chen is not in a hurry. He wants to know the whole story. Haha, Long Chen, don't you know what you are? You and Mo Nian are just like birds of a feather, digging graves, robbing and cheating, robbing the dead and robbing the living. You are the only ones who believe what you say. Yi Wuchen sneers. As soon as Yi Wuchen's words came out, many of the strong people of the Terran murmured to themselves and whispered to each other. Long Chen is really not a good thing. He robbed Longting business continuously, and used Longting business to do business, and cheated countless people to participate in the auction of Changkuanding. That Mo Nian is not a thing. Can't you see his wanted portraits everywhere in Xinguang State? This guy's robbing tombs, digging tombs. It's completely damaged. Long Chen also tried to find an excuse to expel the strong people who went to Lingshao Academy. He no longer shared the achievements of the academy. He broke his faith and was a villain. For a time, countless people were whispering in the dark, but their voices were not small. It seemed that they were afraid that others would not know, and deliberately spread their voices far away. When Long Chen heard this, a smile appeared on the corner of his mouth. He didn't speak, but he knew it in his heart. Yi Wuchen came out after preparation, and Long Qin didn't expose it. He watched Yi Wuchen quietly, waiting for him to continue to perform. You two are notorious, but you want to throw dirty water on others. It's very insidious. This is Xingwang Challenge Arena. Everything is decided by the way of heaven. If you do this, you will break the rules. At that time, if the way of heaven collapses and the challenge arena is destroyed, everyone here will die. What's your intention? Yi Wuchen said that later. His voice became louder and louder, and countless people listened to him and looked at Longchen and others, and gradually revealed their killing opportunities. Longchen, you have too many enemies. You know you can't be spared. You want to die together with everyone. Among the demons and beasts, there are strong people shouting. I understand that most of the forces here hate you. Knowing that we will not let you leave alive, we intend to pull us on the road together. Some of the demons roared. Damn, our blood clan, and you have a grudge against each other. In this case, we will kill you first. We in the netherworld are also the mortal enemies of Longchen. If you dare to collude with Wuqian, it's a capital crime. Longchen, since you are so vicious, don't say anything. Kill you first. You deceive me. You deceive me too much. I will never die with you. Longchen, if you want to die early, I will help you. Unexpectedly, at the auction house, the ghost who was cheated by Longchen also appeared. No matter what kind of tricks you play, I will definitely accompany you in the end, but if you want to join us on the road, you can dream about it. The female leader of the Night Clan also spoke. With their mouth, people find that the enemies of emotional dragon dust are all over the arena, and even most of the Terrans have resentment with him. Yi Wuchen's words suddenly push dragon dust to the top of the storm. And behind Longchen, the faces of countless strong people have changed. Many of them are not familiar with Longchen. Now some people point out that Longchen has ulterior motives, and they begin to doubt it. We only aim at Longchen, not innocent. If you don't see Longchen clearly, they'll give you a chance. Now leave Longchen and return to the Terran. We can treat everything as if nothing happened. This is your last chance to choose. If you miss it and the war starts soon, don't blame others for their hard work. Yi Wuchen saw the crowd behind the dragon dust in a commotion, and immediately said in a loud voice. As he spoke, someone on the strong side of the Terrans specially cleared a passage and seemed to open his arms to them. At this time, countless people were excited. Longchen looked back at the group of humanitarians. You have people who I save, and also people who save me. You can leave at any time. Longchen saves you, but he doesn't ask for anything in return. But the people who saved me, I hope you can stay. In such a dangerous situation before, you can stand up and support me, which is enough to prove the justice in your heart and the blood in your chest. I believe that you save me, but also do not ask for return. We are all the same kind of people. Since you can believe me once, you can believe me a second time, right? Longchen rode. Longchen's words are very sincere. Countless people look at Longchen and can't help their blood surging up. They think it's a crime to doubt Longchen. Brother Longchen, we believe you. You are definitely not like that. Someone cried out excitedly. Don't believe him. He is a liar. Let's go. If we don't go, we will die with him. Someone yelled. Hula. As the man yelled, countless people rushed out from the veterans behind Longchen. Tens of millions of practitioners left, and Longchen's team shrank by nearly half in an instant. The dragon blood soldiers are very pale. Those who escape are all the people they saved from the stairs. These people are two animals. Let's go and splash the dragon dust and dirty water. They want to cut them down now. But soon, the commotion stopped. Those who should have left were all gone, and those who remained were firm-eyed. You are a bunch of idiots. Since you want to die, no one else is to blame. Yi Wuchen looked at a lot of people believe in dragon dust, can't help but sneer. Ha ha ha. But Longchen looks up to the sky and laughs. His voice shakes 9 days. The laughter is full of joy. None of my brothers have left. I thank you. Longchen to this group of people a fist, let him moved is, support of the strong one did not leave, they choose to believe in Longchen again. And some of those who were saved stayed. Although they were not many, their eyes were full of trust in Longchen. This trust made Longchen feel infinite power. Thank them and drag them into the abyss of death? Longchen, you are really a loser. Yi Wuchen sneers. Suddenly, without warning, Longchen appears in front of Yi Wuchen like a ghost, slapping him in the face. With a bang, Yi Wuchen was pulled away like a meteor, and Longchen stopped drinking, which spread to every corner of the world like the roar of the gods. It's useless to say more. Today, Longchen is going to break the trap, kill the gods and kill the demons. Come on, start the ultimate battle. www.novelhold.com, the fastest update of the web novel. Chapter 4238 The sound of dragon dust surges between the heaven and the earth, with endless domineering, shaking heaven and earth to change color and roar. His voice contains an invincible will, such as the decree of the Lord of the 9 heavens, which leads up to the 9 clouds and down to the 9 springs, and all the heavens and the world will be shocked by it. Dragon dust's rage makes countless strong people change color, especially the older generation of strong people outside the challenge arena. What a strong will, imposed on heaven and earth, but heaven and earth have to obey orders, this person's terrible fate. The older generation of strong people know that the stronger a person's will is, the more he will be rejected by the way of heaven, because under the way of heaven, all laws are unified, and no one's will is allowed to be above the way of heaven. The way of heaven can only be obeyed, which is irreversible. This is the common sense of the practice world. However, the roar of Longchen is a kind of voice that suppresses the road, so it makes countless people change color. People are shocked by Longchen's fate. To know such a will, the way of heaven absolutely does not allow him to exist. If he can live to the present, the fate must be terrifying. Only the older generation of strong people can understand the terrible fate of Longchen, and the strong people in the challenge arena don't care about Longchen's voice at all, causing the change of the way of heaven. In the face of Longchen's anger, countless people don't think so. Instead, they show disdain. At this time, Longchen is suspected of impetuosity and bluff. However, the expression of Longchen also makes countless people think that what Yi Wuchen said is right, and Longchen becomes angry when he is exposed. Longchen, you and I will not die today. At this time, the roar of Yi Wuchen came. Yi Wuchen was confused. He was slapped by Longchen. Just as he stabilized his figure, his face had been distorted. The slap of Longchen was very powerful, but Yi Wuchen had a divine light to protect his body and did not cause him heavy damage. However, the damage was not high, and the insult was very strong. He suddenly became crazy. In the face of Yi Wuchen's challenge, Longchen ignored it and said coldly to all the people in the challenge arena, "Those who believe in me don't need to say more. Those who don't believe in me don't need to say more. I, Longchen, do my best to practice. I'm not afraid of the sea of corpses and blood, just to protect the people I want to protect. I don't care what you think or think. If I want to protect the people I want to protect, I must break this trap. I'm not a saint. I don't have the heart of compassion. I won't explain anything to you. I just want to tell you that I've broken this trap. The one who stands in my way is death." Boom. When Longchen finished, the void suddenly broke under his feet, and his wings spread behind him. Like a flash of lightning, he came to the edge of a pillar of light, where a dark lord was roaring, which was the target of Longchen. "You're going to die, you bewitching idiot." All of a sudden, the wind blows and the fog is black. A ghost-like figure appears. A black claw grabs at the dragon dust. It's a ghost. The ghosts and creatures are illusory, as if there is no entity in general. Everyone doesn't know how to get there. The attack is even more weird and tricky. Longchen knows that this group of people will not let him destroy the array. When the claws of ghosts and Taoist creatures come, Longchen hums coldly, and the golden light on his right hand is flourishing, and the dragon scales appear in the shape of a dragon claw, which is also struck with one claw. Bang! The golden dragon claw collides with the black claw, the golden light and the black fog break out, and the huge impact force forms a ripple. The dragon dust and the ghost creatures snort at the same time. They step back and strike each other equally. No one takes advantage. Boom! When the two separated, the ripples, which centered around the two, spread like an avalanche. The space was surging and violent. The endless dark monsters in the void were directly shocked into powder, and a large space was cleared in the challenge arena. Death, Long Chen just had a hard fight with the ghost. Suddenly, a sword came from behind and pointed to the key point of Long Chen. It was Yi Wuchen. Despicable! At the moment when Yi Wuchen makes a move, Yu Zifeng can't help but snort. Yi Wuchen also belongs to Jian Xiu, and is a powerful Jian Xiu. But his two moves were both sneak attacks, especially this time when his qi and blood were stagnant after a hard fight between Long Chen and ghosts. If other strong men launch a surprise attack, there is nothing wrong with it. But Yi Wuchen is a sword mender, but he uses this despicable means to make Yu Zifeng despise him. Long Chen's body twists and turns, and his claws turn straight down to Yi Wuchen's sword. Many people exclaim at his claw. Most people think that Long Chen will avoid this move, but they don't expect that Long Chen will take it hard, so Long Chen will suffer a big loss. After all, Long Chen had a fight with the ghost before. As soon as the old force was gone, the new force was not born, so he took it in a hurry. This is a big taboo. And Yi Wuchen has been accumulating power for a long time and is in the peak state. Is it too arrogant for Long Chen to do so? Buzz, in the eyes of countless people, Long Chen's claw has hit the sword, but what everyone didn't expect is that there was no excitement in people's imagination, but in a strange sound, Long Chen's claw changed from grasping to pulling. Then people see that Yi Wuchen is just like a meteor, heading for the Dark Lord not far away. What? People are surprised, did not expect that the dragon does this move unexpectedly. Is the empty move, borrows the strength to hit the strength, will Yi Wuchen to take the deviation. You know, it's very common for ordinary practitioners to use force to fight, but few of them use it among the real masters. Because the risk is too great, the masters will fight each other and know when they see through. Once they are seen through, they will give their lives to the enemy. Among people's exclamations, Yi Wuchen's face changed greatly. He never dreamed that he was cheated because the dragon dust changed so fast. What's most hateful is that at this time, he can't help bumping into the light column, and his strength can be sent or not. Moreover, Long Chen also gives him some strength. At this time, he can only stab the Dark Lord in the light column. Suddenly, the light sword could not pierce the pillar. Poof! Yi Wuchen's blood gushed out, and the light column trembled, and he was bounced back. At the moment when he bounced back, his clothes burst open, and he was in a great confusion. People were shocked that Yi Wuchen's sword was bounced back like this. The light column, which looked very weak, didn't get any damage. Boom! At this time, there was a loud explosion in the distance, and a crystal coffin hit the light pillar. It was Emon Yen who launched a strike. As a result, the light pillar did not move, and his crystal coffin had cracks. Long Chen, this is a big trouble. At that moment, Emon Yen's face changed. www.novelhold.com, the fastest update of the web novel. Chapter 4239, Why? Receiving the sound of Emon Yen, Long Chen can't help but jump. I underestimated the grand array. The holy state is just the eye of the array, and the whole grand array may spread to the whole nirvana. This belongs to the sky array, which is connected with the outside world on the top and the nether world on the bottom. My crystal coffin is an immortal magic weapon, which can't be shaken. Moreover, the anti-shock force is so terrible that my magic weapon is damaged. Our realm is not enough. We can't exert the real power of immortal magic forces. Even if no one stops us, we can't shake the great array. Emon Yen speaks to Long Chen. At this time, he was fighting with Yen Wuji, and the crystal coffin had been taken away by him. The crystal coffin was damaged, and he was very distressed. He also didn't expect that this big array was so terrible that even immortal magic soldiers were cracked. Long Chen was also surprised. The immortal soldiers could not do anything about it. They could not do anything about it. Unless the immortal strong man controlled the immortal artifact himself, the array would not be broken. Do you want to use the heaven and earth cauldron? Long Chen murmured in his heart that if he really used the heaven and earth cauldron, he would never be able to stop from now on. With the 10 chaotic artifact in his hand, there are too many people who are jealous. He may not be able to walk out of the Holy King's state alive. Just when Long Chen was in trouble, suddenly a voice came, "Brother Long, let me have a try." Suddenly, the sound of the dagger comes from Yumming River. "No, you don't have enough defense. You may not be able to withstand the counterattack of De Zhen. Let me do it. Give me the dagger." Long Chen rode. Suddenly, the space around Long Chen is different. Long Chen moves in his heart, grabs it and holds a dagger in his hand. Long Chen's heart is jumping wildly. He has Dong Mingyu by his side. He doesn't know it at all. Originally, Dong Mingyu followed Mingqi, Yu Qingxian, Tang Weiner and others to help Chu Yao and Lu Ruyan, but he didn't know when he had already come to him, but Long Chen didn't realize it. Not only he didn't realize it, he didn't even know anything about the ghosts who attacked him, but also about Yi Wuchen. Dong Minjia's stealth technique was really terrible. Dang, when the dragon's claw waved, the void burst open and collided with the claws of ghosts and ghosts again. This time, Mars splashed, and the sound of gold and iron mingled. Two people fight hard again. Long Chen seems to be invincible like a meteor general retrogression, straight to the light column hit, and look at the momentum, then just Yi Wuchen impact strength is not weak. Originally, Yi Wuchen was ready to do it again, but when he saw this scene he was stunned, not only for him, but also for the ghost. In the eyes of countless people shocked, Long Chen fiercely hit the light column, and Yi Wuchen's eyes showed the light of schadenfreude. Only he knew how terrible the anti-shock power of the light column was. Just when the dragon dust is about to hit the pillar of light, suddenly his whole body is covered with golden dragon scales. At the same time, in his hand, a black dagger appears and swipes at the pillar of light. Bang! The black divine light flew across the light column, which was torn like a film. The light column, which Yi Wuchen and Emon Yen could not break, was extremely fragile in front of the black dagger. When the pillar of light was torn apart, Long Chen's face changed greatly. His wings behind him suddenly lit up, blooming like the sun. Man retreated at the fastest speed. Boom! The moment the light column is torn, it's like a volcano that has been accumulated for hundreds of millions of years. It has been poked into a small hole, and the endless power finally finds the vent, and the violent waves burst out. When the dragon dust attacked the light column, the Dark Lord in the light column was rushed out by the torrent. Its body is as big as a mountain, so huge body, just like the meteorite shooting from the sky, rolling out all the way. Long Chen dodged as fast as he could and avoided the Dark Lord's body by a tiny margin, but the roaring wind made his face ache. When he saw the giant flying, the ghost's face changed greatly. His body turned into a light smoke and disappeared between heaven and earth. As soon as he disappeared, the Dark Lord ran into him. Puff, puff, puff. The ghosts and ghosts escaped, but the strong ones behind him suffered. The Dark Lord flew in, and countless strong people were directly knocked into powder. The body of the Dark Lord runs through most of the arena. The strong of the Blood Clan and the Demon Clan are the most unlucky. Their team is almost divided by the Dark Lord. Boom! The Dark Lord slammed into the edge of the challenge arena border. The huge force made the whole border roar. Countless people's eardrums tingled and blood flowed. No sound could be heard anymore. Roar! The Dark Lord seemed to be dazed by the shock. When he saw the surrounding situation clearly, he suddenly burst out a roar and killed anyone. The Dark Lord has a huge body, such as Fury King Kong. His arms are smashed. Countless strong people have no time to escape and are directly smashed into pieces. At that moment, countless people were flustered. This is the existence of congenital heaven class. Ordinary people are not rivals, have to avoid. Long Chen, you are a 1,000-knife killer. You want to kill us all. Some people ran away and yelled at each other. And the Dark Lord didn't care. His eyes were red and he was crazy. He chased the people and killed them. Boom! Suddenly, the Dark Lord was shocked. In front of him, there was a black lotus, and a lotus leaf was covering it. The Dark Lord was huge, But in front of the lotus leaves, he was so small that he was wrapped by the lotus leaves for a moment. Poof! The Dark Lord roared, and his claws went through the lotus leaves, which were punctured and torn apart. However, it just tore the lotus leaves, but it still hasn't completely broken free. The second lotus leaves fell down again. The lotus leaves fell down like a silk net and wrapped it tightly. Then there's the third, the fourth, the fifth. In the blink of an eye, 18 lotus leaves fell and wrapped the Dark Lord heavily. The Dark Lord began to struggle madly and the lotus leaves cracked from time to time. But after the 10th, it can only wriggle in the lotus leaves, and can no longer tear the lotus leaves. After the 18th, the Dark Lord seems to be completely sealed and can no longer move. Golu golu. At this time, a strange sound came, like a beast swallowing juice, creepy. Wow. Lotus leaves slowly open, one after another, when the 18th lotus leaves all open. Bang bang. When people saw that the Dark Lord had disappeared, instead of a pile of bones falling, they bumped into the border and made strange sounds. At that moment, people felt numb and looked at the magic lotus in horror. The magic lotus disappears and turns into a woman. The woman is no one else, but the peerless Tianjiao lotus of the magic eye water lily family. Lian Wuing's mouth is still blood-stained, and her breath is even more terrible. The magic light in her eyes is flashing, and her face is wearing a bloodthirsty smile. She looks at Longchen. It's time for the farce to come to an end. The immortal pulse belongs to her. Kill Longchen and all the people related to Longchen. Lotus No Shadow directly issued the order. With her order, hundreds of millions of undead strong, like the tide of the general rush to the dragon dust. www.novelhold.com, the fastest update of the web novel. Chapter 4240. Lian Wing personally killed a terrible Dark Lord with absolute power, which shocked the whole audience. The most shocking thing is that she gave all the orders to the strong dragon. Boom! Hundreds of millions of undead strong people are like a torrent, whistling out. Undead is the first force to launch a large-scale war. Boom! At the moment when Lian Wuing orders, Lu Ruyan moves. Another group of strong undead people led by the undead Lu family also rushes to Longchen. It's just strange that Lu Ruyan didn't lead the army to intercept Lian Wuing. Instead, he kept pace with Lian Wuing and went straight to Longchen. Warriors of the demons, Longchen is covered with the blood of the demons. He is the enemy of the demons. Whoever kills him is the real warrior of the demons. Some of the powerful demons shook their arms and cried out, and the demons moved. Although the demons suffered heavy losses in succession, their number was too large and did not decrease significantly. Soldiers of the Blood Clan, it's time to avenge our people. Kill as much as you can. The strong of the Blood Clan also moved. Dragon Dust is Wu Tian's brother, who can take his head, who can get the favor of the Hades Emperor, and then it depends on who has that ability. The strong men of the underworld are all roaring to kill. Warriors of the Night Clan, the target is there. The head of Longchen is mine. As for the heads of others, you can harvest freely. With that, she and hundreds of thousands of strong people of the Night Clan just disappeared into the air. Longchen's life belongs to our demon family. We must not let other families take the lead. It's time for our demon family to rise. It's time for the warriors of our demon family to let the world know our demon family again. There are also people roaring in the monster family. In fact, before that people roared, countless powerful people of the monster family rushed to Longchen. At that moment, the enemy rushed to Longchen from all directions, and Longchen became the target of public criticism in an instant. People were stunned by the sudden change of the situation. How could that be? Why are they aiming at Longchen all at once? Bai Zhantong was surprised and angry. Because only the dragon dust has the ability to destroy the light column, they must kill the dragon dust as quickly as possible. At this time, the Lord opened his mouth. Are they? Bai Zhantong was shocked. These people, in the name of hatred, were actually trying to cover up the truth. That is to say, those who openly gave orders and secretly instigated all knew about the plot. They are in danger. Bai Shishi's mother's palms were full of sweat at this time. Long Chen and others had to deal with the strong enemies of almost all races. Ha ha ha. When all the enemies kill Long Chen looks up to the sky and laughs, full of arrogance and hegemony. A group of stupid guys, we don't know that they have been used, we don't talk much nonsense, let's talk with our weapons. Long Chen turned his head, looked at the dragon blood soldiers, looked at the familiar faces. Long Chen said in a loud voice, "Brothers from Tianwu, we came together because of the killing. Now, we are reunited because of the killing again. I know that we are born to kill. We use our magic weapons to cut off all the injustice in the world. Others regard us as chessmen, as mole ants, as idiots, but we know that living like mole ants should have the ambition of swans, life is thinner than paper, should be indomitable heart. We have parents and brothers. In their eyes, we are definitely not mole ants. We are the bright moon and scorching sun in their hearts. Without us, their world would fall into darkness, so we cherish life more than anyone else. It is precisely because we cherish life that we have to work hard. Only by practicing and killing desperately can we live and live with dignity. Brothers, open your throat and roar heartily, pull out your weapons and kill heartily. On the battlefield there is no right or wrong, only victory or defeat and life or death. Anyone who wants to deprive us of our lives is our enemy. There is only one word in front of us. Kill. Long Chen's voice was impassioned, and it became louder and louder. In the end, it was like rolling thunder and thunderbolt, shaking the universe and changing the color of the clouds. In particular, the last word, kill. When Long Chen roared that word, the color of the whole world darkened down, hundreds of millions of miles of clear sky, even covered with a layer of blood. The whole world became scarlet. No matter inside or outside the challenge arena, there seemed to be blood rising, which seemed to indicate something. Kill, kill, kill. The dragon blood soldiers drew out their weapons one after another, roared and roared with the sound of dragon dust. At that moment, the souls of the dragon blood soldiers seemed to be closely connected. Kill, 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 not only the dragon blood soldiers, but also Xingazong, Lingshao Academy, Zanshendian and those Tianjiao who support Longchen. Dragon dust's words make their blood boiling at this time, they have no fear, is that endless war. At that moment, death could not make them fear, their blood was burning, as if only killing could release their passion. Just as Longchen was enthusiastically boosting his morale, a long sword was shooting at Longchen like a meteor in the sky. The roaring wind made the whole arena tremble. It was Yi Wuchen who made the move. This time, the vision behind Yi Wuchen was trembling, and his qi and blood soared to the sky. Under the flow of three colors, his breath suddenly rose dozens of times. Obviously, Yi Wuchen no longer hides his strength. He is ready to kill Longchen at the first time. On the other hand, under the distortion of the void, the illusory powerful ghost appeared. In the flow of vision behind him, a huge skeleton pattern appeared. As soon as the design came out, the spirit of ghosts was gloomy, and the howling sound of fierce ghosts came out. At that moment, the breath of ghosts was like a volcanic eruption. Boom! He grabs it out with one claw, and the skeletal mass in his vision suddenly vibrates, followed by a white bone claw grabbing across the air. At the moment when the white bone claw came, thousands of claw shadows appeared in the void. 10,000 claws come back to one. Suddenly, the ghost stopped drinking, and the 10,000 claws merged into one, forming a white bone claw only the size of a normal palm. When the claw of the white bone became smaller, there was no sound of breaking the air. At that moment, there was a dead silence between the heaven and the earth, just like the silence before death. In the face of ghosts and Yi Wuchen's hand, Long Chen turns around slowly, as if he can't see their attack. He says coldly, "In this world, we need to be awed. Only the power of awe can make people have the heart of awe." The Dragon King fights the body now. Boom, the 7 color god rings behind the dragon dust appear, and the loud sound of the dragon chant resounds through the heaven and earth, and the 18,000 dragon scales of the dragon dust bodies suddenly light up, like the sun blooming, shining through the ages. www.novelhold.com. The the fastest update of the web novel. Chapter 42-41 Dragon Dust's life and blood are ignited. The power of fury, with dragon dust as the center, bursts out in all directions. A golden ball of light zooms in. Bang! The attack made by Yi Wuchen and the ghosts and Taoist creatures collided with the ball of light and burst into pieces. The ball of light spread in all directions without any obstruction. At that moment, people were shocked. What? The attack of Yi Wuchen and the powerful ghost was shattered by the breath of dragon dust? The dragon dust just released the breath, but the powerful attack of the two people was directly shattered. This scene is amazing. Boom! Long Chen's qi and blood are surging, and the ripples are roaring away. Long Chen seems to be in the eye of the storm, and the fierce wind makes the whole arena roar. Yi Wuchen and ghosts are the closest to Long Chen. They are pushed back by the terrible wind. Kaka! The void creaked under their feet, trying to stabilize themselves, but they kept going backwards. At this time, the dragon dust is like the dragon blood god of war, who is proud of heaven and earth. In the god ring behind him, the huge figure is wriggling. It's a golden dragon, but the dragon is so big that people can only see part of the dragon's body through the ring, but can't see the whole picture. At this time, the endless army of all nationalities killed, they were startled by the breath of dragon dust, and could not help slowing down. Don't be afraid, just crush them with the force of thunder. I don't know which group of strong people are shouting. With his cry, strong people of all ethnic groups rush to Long Chen like tides. Facing endless strong people, Long Chen suddenly roars. 9 days of dragon howling. In the moment of dragon dust's long roaring, the sound of dragon roaring also came from the god ring behind dragon dust, which was blended with the sound of dragon dust's long roaring. The sound seemed to come from the chaotic era, with endless years of vicissitudes, but also with the air of violent killing. Buzz buzz. With the roaring sound of Long Chen, in front of Long Chen, sound waves gush out like tsunamis. Not good. When you see the invisible sound coming like waves, the void constantly distorts and collapses. Some people's faces change greatly and go back rapidly. Puff, puff, puff. Where the sound waves pass, the endless strong will burst into pieces and turn into powder. All the strong covered by the sound waves, regardless of race, will be killed. For a moment, people were shocked. They had never seen such a terrible attack. Even the most powerful had no resistance. The strong people of all ethnic groups are in chaos. The people in front of them retreat, while the people behind them, because they don't see the situation in front of them, are still rushing forward. As a result, the people who rush forward and retreat collide with each other. They can't advance or retreat, and are instantly drowned by the sound waves. Puff, puff, puff. Countless people were shattered by the sound wave. At that moment, the arena was scarlet and extremely fierce. I don't know how many strong people died in the roar of Long Chen. Boom! Just then, the void surged, a large lotus leaf covered the sky, and hundreds of thousands of strong men of the Magic Eye Water Lily family appeared. They showed their noumenon, and connected the sky with lotus leaves, forming a big array to cover the sky, resisting the roaring of the dragon. Bang! When the sound waves hit the lotus leaves burst into powder. It is obvious that even the Magic Eye Water Lilies can't stop the blow. However, when the sound wave of Long Chen was blocked by this, its power immediately decreased greatly. Although there was still sound wave rolling forward, it was not so lethal. How dare you be arrogant? They'll meet you. The powerful members of the Magic Eye Water Lily family joined forces to resist the dragon roar of the dragon dust. The shadow of the water lily emerges from the crowd. The vision behind her opens up. In the boundless immortal pool, a water lily appears. Who? The sky-covered water lily glowed. Her body crossed the battlefield in an instant, and a strange weapon appeared in her hand. It was a lotus seed. On the lotus seed, there were colorful lights, like a meteor hammer smashing at the dragon dust. Boom! When her lotus seed fell, the void burst open, and a long gap was drawn. Among the 5 colors of divine light, There were 5 kinds of divine power, namely gold, wood, water, fire and earth, which almost destroyed heaven and earth. Although you are not human, you also need to understand awe. Dragon dust cold hum a, don't flash don't avoid, 5 fingers such as hook, to 5 color lotus. Boom, the colorful light is surging, the sky and the earth are shaking, and the waves are overlapping. People are shocked to find that Long Chen has firmly grasped the shadowless colorful lotus pod. People were shocked to see the billows and the runes flying. What level of power is this? Even those who are congenitally strong in heaven can't help but be alarmed. Lotus shadowless powerful, no one dare to question, she can single pick Dark Lord, but also easy to kill. When she attacked the colorful lotus, even the way of heaven was collapsing. It can be seen how terrible the attack was. As a result, she was caught by Longchen. The colorful lotus seed is caught by the dragon dust, and the lotus shadowless face doesn't change. The vision behind it vibrates and grabs back with force. Kaka kaka. The void under their feet was like a cobweb of cracks. Just like the ice that had been hit hard, it would collapse at any time. Lian Wang wants to pull back her weapon, but Longchen doesn't move. The colorful lotus pod is more like casting on the palm of Longchen's hand. Longchen, this lotus shadowless is mine. At this time, Lu Rian's voice came from behind Longchen. At this time, Lu Rian had come to Longchen's team with the strong men of the undead family, and Longchen's team suddenly grew a lot. It doesn't matter who she is. It's important that you protect my brothers. Longchen holds the colorful lotus in his hand and doesn't return to the tunnel. Why? Lu Rian said angrily. Just because we are the closest partners. Longchen rode. As soon as Longchen said this, Lu Rian suddenly looked strange and could not help muttering, "Ghosts are your closest friends." However, as soon as Longchen said this, Lu Rian never came out as a strong man. Although she wanted to fight with Lian Wuing, Longchen said so, and she could only bear it. The people who can give up their lives to support me are all my brothers and sisters. They can give up their lives for me and I, Longchen, can do everything for them please. Longchen's voice turned soft, with a hint of supplication. Those who were strong enough to support Longchen were moved by Longchen's words. Now they know that with Longchen's strength, they don't need their help at all. And the dragon dust that, they can lay down their lives for me, dragon dust can also work hard for them. All of a sudden hit the softest part of their heart, feel even if the dragon dust died, also willing. Lu Rian is stunned. She has known Longchen for so many years. It's the first time that she hears Longchen speak to her in such a tone. Suddenly she feels soft. Don't worry, I will protect them. Lu Rian responded. Hearing Lu Rian's reply, Longchen immediately put down his heart. At this time, he suddenly changed into a purple sword. It pierced the sky and stabbed Longchen. Boom! With a bang, Longchen released the colorful lotus, and people flew out like meteors. Su Yifeng Guoran and others are very angry. This person is the purple Su Tianjiao who has disappeared for a long time. At this time, there is no sign of a sudden attack, so Longchen is caught. Stop him! Suddenly someone screamed. People found that the direction of Longchen's flying was to go straight to another pillar of light. At this moment, Longchen, holding a black dagger, slashed away at the light column. www.novelhold.com, the fastest update of the web novel. Chapter 42. No one thought that under the siege of so many people, Longchen didn't want to break through, but even wanted to destroy Guangzhou. Moreover, the dragon dust flies away with Su Yifeng's blow. When people react, the dragon dust has reached the light pillar. Bang! The black dagger in Longchen's hand slashed on the light column, causing a loud explosion. The light column was torn open, the divine light poured out like a torrent, and the Dark Lord in the light column at the gap was rushed out. Boom! This time, Longchen is ready, and the gap is facing the enemy. Get out of the way, some people exclaim, but the Dark Lord has come like a meteor, and his huge body has covered people's sight. Bang! The body of the Dark Lord was smashed down with a terrifying wind, and countless strong people were smashed to pieces. But just as he rushed into the center of the crowd, he burst out with a loud bang. The Dark Lord bumped into a bigger figure. It was a huge black turtle. The Dark Lord bumped into the tortoise shell. The huge force made the Dark Lord roll up. And the huge tortoise also turned a few somersaults in the air, but on the tortoise's shell, there was not even a grain left. It can be seen how hard the tortoise's shell is. This is absolutely the existence of immortal divine soldier level. Suddenly, the tortoise opened his mouth, slid his 4 claws and bit the Dark Lord hard. However, at the moment when the tortoise was about to bite the Dark Lord, a lotus leaf covered the sky wrapped the Dark Lord. Lion Wang, it's mine. The powerful members of the Xiangui clan roared. Whoever grabs it belongs to him. In the cold laughter of Lion Wang, Lianya pulled the Dark Lord away. The tortoise bit into the air and was furious. Hoo. A lotus leaf fell down, like a rice dumpling, which wrapped the Dark Lord heavily and didn't give him the chance to struggle. Maybe the Dark Lord hasn't recovered from the terrible impact. In the hands of Lian Wuing, there's no power to fight back. Hula, when the lotus leaves open, the huge Dark Lord has disappeared, leaving only a pile of bones falling from the air. Lion Wang, you want to die. The powerful people of Xiangui clan are so angry that their prey has been robbed. And Lion Wang swallowed up a Dark Lord. Her breath became stronger in a moment. She seemed to have a faint sign of breaking through the immortal king. Lion Wang didn't pay attention to the powerful people of Xiangui family, but looked at Longchen. At this time, Longchen, like lightning, rushed to a pillar of light in the distance. Stop him. The 9 pillars have broken too. If you break another one, the array will be out of balance. Someone exclaimed. Suddenly the void vibrates. A purple gold bell vibrates, smashes the void and smashes at Longchen, blocking Longchen's way. The bell is wrapped in purple. It's the immortal weapon of the Purple Blood clan. It's Su Shiner who has made the move. As soon as she makes the move, she will send out the immortal weapon, with a posture of fighting with Longchen to the end. Longchen snorts coldly. He can see at a glance that the purple bell is fierce on the surface, but actually it contains strength. Su Shiner is extremely cunning, and her attack is just dazzling. If Longchen blocks or counterattacks, she will take back Zijin Bell immediately. She doesn't want to fight with Longchen, she just wants to block Longchen. Dragon Dust Castration unchanged, black dagger forefinger in hand, straight to the purple bell hit. Sure enough, as Longchen thought, Su Shiner did not dare to touch the black dagger with the purple gold bell and retreated quickly. Longchen's black dagger cuts the border of the pillar of light continuously, but no one dares to fight with Longchen with his own weapons. Dragon dust through the sky purple, suddenly in front of the divine light, a purple divine light like a sword, stabbing at him. Longchen's heart is filled with a sense of death threat. He suddenly understands that Su Xiner's attack is not to scare him, but to cover for Su Yifeng's attack. At this time, they cooperate very skillfully. Su Xiner's breath completely covers up Su Yifeng's attack. When Longchen finds out, it's too late to escape. Bang! The purple divine light pierced the sky and stabbed the challenge arena barrier. The challenge arena barrier was pierced by the divine light. The purple divine light, like a sharp sword, pierced into the sky and the sea of stars. People are shocked. So far, no one has been able to shake the boundary of the challenge arena, but Su Yifeng's blow has broken through the boundary. However, at the moment when the border was broken down, it quickly healed, as if nothing had happened. However, seeing the scene just now, all the strong people were crazy. The lethality of this blow was so terrible that it was possible to directly kill the heaven. When people looked at the battlefield, they saw that Longchen was still standing in the void, but his arm was stained with blood, and one arm was bloody. Longchen is looking at his arm coldly. A strange wave appears in his eyes. He is hurt by the purple blood magic power, but it only hurts the skin. It looks scary, but it's nothing at all. What makes Longchen puzzled most is that when the wound appears, the purple chi around him flows into his arm slowly, as if to help him repair his body. You've had purple blood in your body, and you're purer and more powerful than them. Just as the minister does not know the identity of the emperor, he only knows your identity when he hurt you by mistake. You don't want to absorb these purple chi. It will affect the purity of your blood. You should keep your body hungry and thirsty. Your purple blood is on Long Outyan. The voice of the dragon strongman rings in Long Chen's mind. Long Chen suddenly realized, no wonder to see these purple chi, gave birth to a kind of desire, emotion. His body has a strong expectation of the return of purple blood. However, the blood gas is not his. What he wants to get back is his own purple blood. At the moment when Long Chen is in a daze, Su Yifeng, Su Shiner and outside the challenge arena, all Su Jiaqiang are shocked. Su Yifeng's strike directly hit Long Chen. Long Chen only had time to block it with his arm. It is reasonable to say that Long Chen will die. You know, this strike even broke through the challenge arena barrier. When it broke through the barrier, its strength had weakened, and when Long Chen took it, it was the peak of its strength. The challenge arena barrier was broken down, and Long Chen was only hurt a little. The Su family's strong men were unbelievable. Long Chen's arms slowly raised, the broken dragon scales instantly repaired, all the blood disappeared, as if nothing had happened to the whole person. All of a sudden, the wings of the Kunpeng behind the dragon dust flash, and the man rushes straight to the light column. But the moment the dragon dust rushes out, the black dagger in his hand disappears. "Stop him!" Someone exclaimed. At that moment, Lotus Shadowless Hand, she appeared in front of the pillar of light, covered the sky. Lotus leaves surging, stopped in front of the dragon dust. Boom! Just as people were waiting for Lion Wang to fight against Long Chen, a light column in the distance roared and burst. What? People were shocked and looked at the light column one after another. Then they saw Emon holding a black dagger. www.novelhold.com, the fastest update of the web novel. Chapter 42-43, Haha. Emon, holding a black dagger, looks up at the sky and laughs. A group of idiots, what Long Chen can do, I can do the same. Yen Wuji, you idiot who likes to eat excrement, are you fooled? Yen Wuji had been chasing Emon before, but when Su Yifeng's attack appeared, he was surprised and the pursuit slowed down. But he didn't know that when Long Chen released the black dagger, an invisible figure came to Emon with the dagger, and Emon chopped fiercely with the dagger. Everyone's attention is focused on Long Chen. No one pays attention to Emon, but Emon succeeds. Another pillar of light burst into pieces. At the moment when the pillar of light burst into pieces, the whole arena began to become unstable. It kept shaking and seemed to collapse at any time. At that moment, countless people's faces changed. The 9 pillars of light had exploded 3 times. When the first 2 burst, there was no response in the challenge arena. Even the 3rd ring is unstable. They're going to bury all of us. Kill them. Kill them or well die. Once the challenge arena is broken, everyone will die. Don't watch the excitement. Kill them quickly. When the challenge arena shakes, countless people are scared and yell wildly. In their eyes, Long Chen and Emon want to kill everyone. Long Chen and Emon are the main culprits, but they still have accomplices. Don't let their accomplices go. They are bad people even if they are killed together. Some Terran strongmen roared. They drew out their weapons one after another and pointed to the dragon blood soldiers in the distance. Kill them, Long Chen will be distracted. Yes, there are many women who are dragon dust. If he wants to kill us, we will kill his relatives. Kill them, break them to pieces, and let Long Chen pay the price of bleeding. The Terran strongmen are closest to the place where the Dragon Blood Legion is located. They draw out their weapons, and their faces begin to become ferocious. A group of idiots, Long Chen and I, are trying to save you. If we don't destroy these pillars of light, there will be blood sacrifice in the challenge arena, opening the door of the unknown, and then everyone will die. When Emon saw that the Terran strongmen were eager to give the dragon blood soldiers a try, he was furious and scolded. Go away, you tomb robber, who will believe your lies? What blood sacrifice? What unknown gate? It's all made up by you. We can't see what you said. What we can see is that you are going to destroy the arena, and then everyone will die. Some people call back the strong. Kill. At this moment, some people roared, they were angry, they were afraid, and they threw a cavity of anger at the people on the other side of the dragon blood army. Countless strong people with butcher's knives killed them. What makes the dragon blood soldiers most angry is that many of the people who yell and scold are the people they saved on the steps. They dare not kill them, but they make noise in the crowd. The boss said that when the weak are angry, they will only wave their swords at the weaker. When the strong wave their swords, they will only kill the stronger. No matter the Terrans, demons are no exception. The boss is right. When the truth doesn't make sense, we have to talk about fists. We live for killing. Only killing can make the world understand awe. Guaran looked at these ferocious strong men and slowly raised his crossbow. Brothers, come on, light up the world with killing and blood. Guaran's huge crossbow trembled, and a divine light shot out. It exploded in front of the crowd, and the blood light splashed, which immediately opened the prelude of the war. Kill, however, Guaran's arrow did not frighten the other side. On the contrary, it aroused their anger, and they killed like wild animals. It's ironic that the Terrans fear the demons, ghosts, monsters, but not themselves. You don't have the courage to fight against foreigners, but you have no mercy on your own people. Kill him, kill him, kill him in darkness, kill him in a river of blood, kill him in a mountain of bones. Gu Yang holding a long gun, looking at the endless strong, his eyes are full of anger. He didn't know why the Terrans wanted to kill each other, why they couldn't trust each other, why they had to fight each other at such a time, how stupid it was. However, they can't make sense even if they are intelligent. Now, they can only solve problems in the most primitive and barbaric way. At this time, the Terran army had already killed, and Gu Yang was the first to kill. The immortal spear was surging, and the spear was loud, and Gu Yang's whole life was ignited. Bang! With a bang, a three-pole supremacy was directly smashed and exploded by Gu Yang with a gun and weapons. The vision behind Gu Yang flows, and qi and blood soar to the sky. His whole body is covered with strange runes, like a wild beast attached to him. Boom boom. Gu Yang's long gun surged through the sky, and the blockers were overwhelmed. He killed several of the three most powerful people in succession, but there was no one to join him. Bang! There was a big bang, and Gu Yang's long gun smashed. As a result, he was blocked by another long gun, and the two long guns collided, disillusioning the void and changing the world. The spear in the man's hand was also an immortal magic weapon. The spears of the two men were against each other, and their eyes were opposite. They burst out endless murderous spirit. Immortal family Zhao Qiankuan, remember this name, because you will die in the hands of the owner of this name. The man was cold. Under the seat of dragon dust, Gu Yang, head of the first army of Dragon Blood Legion, you don't need to remember my name. I killed too many people and don't need others to remember it. Gu Yang gave a cold hum. His arms were strong, and there was a loud bang. They retreated at the same time. Just as they retreated, they collided like meteors after they separated. Boom! This time, the sound of explosion is bigger than last time. The world-shaking collision of immortal soldiers, even the outside city of Shengwangshao, is shaking. Two people back again, and then collide again, each other have absolute confidence in their own strength, do not need fancy tricks, is to beat each other with the simplest, purest strength. Boom, boom, boom. The continuous impact shocked countless people's hearts and brains, as if they were about to explode. The collision of immortal magic soldiers is not only a battle between people, but also a battle between magic soldiers. Gu Yang is very strong. Zhao Qiankuan is the top pride of the immortal family. He has a great reputation and natural power. He has never been defeated in his life. He was appointed as one of the candidates for clan leader. Gu Yang can fight with him without any sign of defeat. Outside the challenge arena, someone exclaimed, Zhao Qiankuan has a great reputation and amazing strength. Gu Yang is just a subordinate of Long Chen, but he can compete with a strong man like Zhao Qiankuan, which makes countless strong people moved. Boom! Not far away, Li Qi and Song Mingyuan are also fighting, and their opponents are also the terrible Tianjiao holding immortal magic soldiers. Immortal Yi Jiaye. At this time, a Yi Jiaqiang, who was dressed like Yi Wuchen, appeared. The head of the four armies, who had three rivals, rushed directly to Yu Zifeng. Poof! Without waiting for him to finish his name, Yu Zifeng cut out his sword and spattered blood light. The strong man of Yi family trembled and his voice stopped suddenly. www.novelhold.com, the fastest update of the web novel. Chapter 42-44. There was no action of drawing the sword, no sound of the long sword coming out of its sheath. However, this time, people finally saw a flash of light. The sword light flashed by, like a startling flood, and then disappeared, and the strong man of the Yi family's body was stiff for a moment. Then people see the vision behind the strong Yi family slowly stagger, and then people stagger, and blood spills along the strong Yi family's eyebrows, nostrils, mouth, throat, chest and abdomen. What? At that moment, countless strong spectators outside the challenge arena stood up. Yi Qi is killed! Someone exclaimed. Yi Qi, the superpower of the immortal Yi family, is said to be second only to Yi Wuchen. He is the second best of the young generation of the Yi family. Besides Yi Wuchen, he has never been defeated. Even the vision it's also cut off. When Yi Qi was killed, people were shocked. What's more shocking is that even the vision behind him was split into two pieces with one sword. We should know that the vision is invisible and belongs to a kind of power that cannot be understood. Although everyone has the vision, his understanding of it is very superficial. However, people all know that the vision cannot be destroyed, and it will disappear only after the master dies or exhausts. Even if it is immortal, it can easily kill a strong immortal, but it can't shatter the vision of a strong immortal. And Yi Qi's vision, like a sharp blade across the picture, slowly separated. The scene shocked countless people, but also subverted their understanding of the vision. Poof! All of a sudden, Yi Qi's body separated, blood scattered in the sky, and the vision behind him exploded into nothingness. Yu Zifeng's face is cold, standing in front of the team. Those who were going to rush to him, see Yi Qi was killed by a blow, immediately scared back, eyes are full of fear. The head of the four major armies, only Yu Zifeng's side, no one dares to cross the thunder pool. People look at Yu Zifeng with a cold face and feel numb. This is a real ruthless role. Standing on the void, Yu Zifeng scared hundreds of millions of strong people to retreat, bypassing the direction of Yu Zifeng and attacking from other places. Kill, as a result, as soon as the group of people approached, they met the Dragon Blood army. As soon as the armies on both sides came into contact, countless broken limbs and bones stirred up, and the blood dyed the sky red. Dragon Blood soldiers, like the rapid rotation of meat grinder, just a contact, countless strong were killed. Dragon Blood soldiers are as fierce as tiger wolves, and they are well trained. When they are together, they will burst out with unimaginable lethality. Puff, puff, puff. On the battlefield, there are millions of strong people dying in the arena in every blink of an eye. Go back. Some people exclaim that the Dragon Blood soldiers are so fierce, they are just like the sheep killed. They have no resistance in such a chaotic battlefield. The people in front retreated, and the people behind rushed forward. The scene was chaotic, and even countless people died in their own hands. The most important thing is that the powerful of the demons, the Blood Clan, the Monster Clan, the Underworld Clan, the Night Clan, the Undead Clan and so on have also been killed. The Terran's strong men mingled in it, and the scene suddenly became extremely chaotic. The strong men, such as the Demon Clan, the Blood Clan and the Monster Clan, were enemies to the Terran originally, and they would not form an alliance because of their common goals. When they see the Terran, whether they are with Longchen or not, they will kill them when they see them. I at Yuan % monster bastards, our goal is Longchen Yua. Some Terran strongman cursed, but before the curse was over he was torn up by a monster strongman. There are more and more enemies, and the pressure on the Dragon Blood army is increasing. However, no one dares to get close to the place where Yu Zifeng is guarding. He has a posture of 1 man at the gate, 10,000 men at the gate. The battlefield was extremely chaotic, but not all races took part in the war. Most of the demons and beasts, the undead and the netherworld chose to watch coldly. The same is true of the Terran. Although many people took part in the war, there are also many strong people who have been standing in the same place and quietly watching what happened around them. Even the demons who hate Longchen the most retain certain strength. Only half of the strong take part in the war, and many races remain neutral all the time. No one helps them, but they just watch quietly. However, even so, the Dragon Blood Army still has to face the strong people of all ethnic groups who are tens of thousands of times more than themselves, and the pressure suddenly increases. But the Dragon Blood soldiers, sharp attack, also make the enemy fear, dare not force each other too much. They want to find a breakthrough from other directions, but no one dares to get close to the area guarded by Yuzifeng. Other places are guarded by disciples of Xinghe sect, Academy and Temple of God of War. There are millions of disciples of Xinghe sect. For the first time, they fought side by side with Longchen. They were stimulated by the Dragon Blood Army. They gnashed their teeth one by one. They would fight with anyone who was close to them. The disciples of Xinghe sect open up their visions. Their visions are the same. They echo each other. With the blessing of visions, they stand in front like an iron wall. Originally, the disciples of Xinghe sect were famous for their bravery and amazing fighting power. Now they want to compete with the Dragon Blood soldiers and burst out with a will to fight that they have never had. No matter how the enemy attacked, they could not break through their defensive circle. On the contrary, countless people lost their lives. The Academy students and the Temple of War students who cooperated with Xinghe sect were all the best among the experts. Because they were a little weak, they were not qualified to participate in the war. Among the tens of millions of strong people who support Longchen, only a few thousand people have the ability to squeeze into the front of the battlefield to fight, while others can only watch in the rear. Boom boom. With the continuous war, the world was stained with blood, and the air was filled with blood and tyranny. At that moment, all the creatures were red-eyed. At this time, life was no longer important. Stimulated by the blood of the same race, all the creatures began to become crazy. The center of gravity is to the left, and the number of people is to the right. Guoran, wearing war armor, stands on the void, commanding the whole battlefield and controlling the battle rhythm. He holds a gold crossbow, and whenever there is a problem, he will shoot a burst arrow. Guoran's burst arrow is the latest magic weapon. A burst arrow is a boundary artifact. Once it explodes, its power will destroy the sky and the earth. Even if the third-level Supreme is shot, he will be seriously injured. These burst arrows, which Guoran regarded as treasures at ordinary times, are finally taken out now. If an arrow is shot out, it will be emptied in an instant. It's very powerful. Although the war has started, Guoran is not nervous at all, because Mengqi, Chuyao, Tang Weiner, Yijiqiu and other experts have not yet taken action, and everything is under control. Boom! Suddenly, there was a loud noise in the distance, and a figure flew out in confusion and hit the border on the top of his head, blood gushing. Su Yifeng. Some people exclaimed that the person who was injured was not others, but Su Yifeng, the pride of heaven with purple blood. People follow the direction of Su Yifeng, just to see the dragon dust is wrapped up by endless lotus leaves. At that moment, countless people exclaimed, www.novelhold.com, the fastest update of the web novel. Chapter 42-45. It turned out that when the Dragon Blood Army was besieged, the battle on the other side of the dragon dust began, but because of the chaos, no one could see what happened there. Until a bang, people's eyes were pulled in the past. People saw Su Yifeng hit the border, blood gushing. The person who makes the move is dragon dust, but at the moment when dragon dust hits Su Yifeng, the boundless lotus leaves wrap dragon dust in an instant. It turns out that Long Chen and Lian Wuing are looking at each other. Su Yifeng takes the opportunity to sneak attack, but he is badly hit by Long Chen. However, at the moment when Long Chen attacks Su Yifeng, Lien Wuing grabs the opportunity and immediately performs a terrorist-killing move. Although he didn't see the whole process, people could guess that Su Yifeng was extremely insidious. He was gambling on Long Qin. How dare he fight against him with all his strength? Dragon Dust face Lotus Shadowless such master, so close distance, two people's chi machine will lock each other firmly. In fact, his attack on Long Qin is mainly interference. If Long Qin chooses to evade, he has continuous moves behind him, which can drive Long Qin into a desperate situation. If Long Qin chooses to block, then he thinks that Long Qin doesn't dare to do his best, otherwise he will expose all his weaknesses to Lien Wuing. Therefore, his sneak attack is not dangerous. But he didn't expect that as soon as he got close to him, Long Qin took the lead and kicked Su Yifeng. This is totally different from what he expected. Under the mutual locking of the air engines, how can Long Qin detect him in advance? He should know that Su Shiner is covering for him. In addition, even if Long Qin can detect him, under the lock of Lotus Shadowless, he can't attack so quickly. As a result, Su Yifeng got a kick, which broke his bones, broke his tendons and spurted blood. The Dragon Dust kick, just as Su Yifeng expected, under the traction of Qi Machine, Lien Wuing directly offered a terrible killing move. A lotus leaf envelopes the Dragon Dust. Once it's entangled by the lotus leaf, it's over. You know, even the Dark Lord's terrible body can be instantly turned into bones. So when you see the lotus leaves wrapping the Dragon Dust, people who care about the Dragon Dust feel that their hearts will jump out. But to everyone's surprise, the lotus leaves just wrapped the Dragon Dust, and the green lotus leaves were covered with frost for a moment, and then they burned. Click! The lotus leaves shatter like thin ice scattered in the sky and the earth, but on the thin ice, there are still white flames. Number 8 in the list, the god of ice and fire. Someone exclaimed and recognized the terrible flame. It doesn't work for me. Dragon Dust instantly broke free from the shackles of lotus leaves, did not give Lotus Shadowless continue to show the opportunity, cold tunnel. But before I can solve you, I need to do something more meaningful. Long Chen's figure suddenly flickers, and the wings of Kunpeng flutter behind him. He has been tens of thousands of miles away, and directly attacks Su Yifeng, who has just bounced back from the border. When the Dragon Dust came, Su Yifeng's face changed greatly. Just now, he was badly hurt. In fact, his qi and blood had not been completely recovered, and his big move could not be released at all. Seeing the Dragon Dust coming, Su Yifeng didn't want to think about it. He chopped it down with a sword, and at the same time, his body quickly retreated. Su Yifeng cuts it out with one sword, and Long Chen avoids the sword qi, keeps the same speed, and goes straight to Su Yifeng. Su Yifeng is surprised. He didn't want to hurt Long Chen, but just wants to buy himself some time. Because at this time, he is not suitable for fighting at all. He must calm down his life before he can fight again. When he saw that his sword was useless, Su Yifeng's face changed. Although there were so many strong men on the scene, they all aimed at Long Chen, but no one helped him. Long Chen comes and grabs Su Yifeng with one claw. Buzz! At this moment, the void trembles, a purple bell appears, and with the roaring wind, it collides with Long Chen. Long Chen gave a cold hum. Although the purple bell is immortal, it is not an attack weapon. Dang! Long Chen grabs Su Yifeng with his left hand, smashes his right hand with a blow, and the sound of the bell makes people's eardrum ache. In the splash of Mars, the purple gold bell is shocked by Long Chen's blow. What? Take the immortal soldiers with bare hands? Once again, someone exclaimed that Long Chen would blow the purple bell away. When Zijin Lingdang was hit, Long Chen was also hit by the powerful force. However, at the moment when he was hit, Long Zhao had already grasped Su Yifeng's sword. At the moment of Dragon Dust shaking, the right fist trembled, and the overwhelming power on the purple golden bell was released along the arm, directly from the left hand and along the long sword. Poof! Su Yifeng was shocked, and his blood gushed. He had not recovered before, but now he was hurt even more. He couldn't hold the sword in his hand and flew out with Long Chen. Long Chen's claws tremble and grasp Su Yifeng's neck. Su Yifeng suddenly becomes stiff and falls into Long Chen's hands. Long Chen, If you dare to harm Yifeng, I will kill you. Lingxiao Academy. Outside the challenge arena, Su Yifeng, the master of the Su family, was arrested. He suddenly stood up, and his forehead was like crazy. In fact, all the strong members of the Su family have stood up, and they are all nervous. Su Yifeng is too important to the Su family, which is the hope of the Su family in the future. The one in your family is dead, but if you want to kill Lingxiao Academy, I'm afraid you won't be able to fulfill this great dream in your life. Facing the threat of the Su family, Bai Zhantong sneered. He knows Long Chen's temper too well. He can't see the situation here, let alone hear the voice here. Even if he hears it, Long Chen won't have any scruples. However, the master of the Su family, who is threatening to destroy Lingxiao Academy. We don't know whether Lingxiao Academy can survive. But few of you can walk out of Xinguang State alive. Su Jiaqiang, who is next to the owner of the Su family, is cold and honest. Yes? Let's have a try. Bai Zhantong sneers, and the Su family is arrogant and domineering. He has long been dissatisfied with them. In the face of the threat of the Su family, the Lord of the Temple didn't speak, but the corner of his mouth gradually curved a dangerous arc outside the challenge arena. The strong men of the Su family almost stopped breathing. Inside the challenge arena, Su Yifeng was caught, and Yi Wuchen, ghosts, Lion Wang and other strong men, but they didn't mean to save people. They were all watching quietly. Only Su Shiner is surprised and angry. Su Yifeng's strength is much more than that. However, he made a mistake in calculation and was hit hard by Long Chen. He has no ability to exert himself. Now, her life is hanging on the line, but she has no way. Long Chen, let him go, or... Su Shiner yells, but for a moment, she doesn't know what to use to threaten Long Chen. Mengqi, Long Chen grabs Su Yifeng, but looks at Mengqi in the Dragon Blood Army. Mengqi sees Long Chen's cry, and immediately understands. Her beautiful eyes slowly close and her jade hands print. Buzz, suddenly, a beautiful figure appears behind Long Chen, which is the virtual Mengqi. When Mengqi's virtual shadow appears, Long Chen points out. Poof, Long Chen's fingers pierced Su Yifeng's eyebrows in the eyes of countless people. www.novelhold.com, the fastest update of the web novel. Chapter 42-46, Su Yifeng convulsed painfully and screamed bitterly. He seemed to have experienced endless pain. At that moment, the Zhejiaqiang people inside and outside the challenge arena were about to split. They saw that Long Chen not only wanted to kill Su Yifeng, but also wanted to search his soul. Dragon dust. The master of the Su family was gnashing his teeth. His voice almost jumped out of his teeth. The green tendons on his forehead were wriggling like earthworms. The killing intention in his eyes was almost like a flame. Su Yifeng's scream reverberated between heaven and earth. At that moment, Su Jiaqiang in the challenge arena, including Su Shiner, were shocked. Su Shiner was trembling all over, and her face was as pale as paper. She didn't know whether she was angry or frightened. She didn't dare move. Behind Long Chen, Mengqi puts a jade hand on the back of Long Chen's head, and the ripples extend from Long Chen's arm to his fingers, straight into Su Yifeng's eyebrows. All of a sudden, Su Yifeng's scream disappears. His body is constantly shaking. The pain is still there, but he can't make a cry, just like a mute who is suffering from torture, but he can't cry out when he has pain. Dragon dust closed his eyes, endless information along his arm, into his mind. Kaka. Su Yifeng's eyebrows began to crack, and his body trembled even more, because at this time, Long Chen was reading the memory of his soul, which was the core secret of the purple blood Su family. Long Chen got a lot of information from Su Yifeng's memory. Although this is not the complete information of the Su family, Long Chen can confirm one thing. That is, the Su family is really a trader of purple blood. They collude with the demons to stimulate purple blood, in order to activate purple blood magic power to the greatest extent. In fact, the purple blood Su family has long been in decline. Their purple blood is no longer pure and even in danger of disappearing. I don't know from which generation, the purple blood Su family in order to keep the blood magic power to a person, and that person is Defantion. Today, in the shrine of the Su family, what is worshipped is not the ranking of ancestors, but the statue of Brahma. Under the guidance of Brahma, the Su family used the blood essence of the demon clan to stimulate purple blood. Under the stimulation of the demon blood, the sense of crisis of purple blood was stimulated and evolved continuously. But the purple blood of the Su family is already not pure. In the struggle with magic blood, although it is evolving, it looks stronger and stronger, but in fact, it is a kind of drinking poison to quench thirst. The original power of purple blood gradually disappeared, and the magic blood obtained by the Su family was the devil's blood in the chaotic era. Under its constant erosion, the variation of purple blood has gone astray. The mutated purple blood has led to the arrogance and cruelty of the Su family. They have gradually become demonized, but they don't know it. The most terrible thing is that all the Su family are devout believers of Brahma. They believe that everything they have is given to them by Brahma, and they are willing to give everything for Brahma. Purple blood is one of the strongest blood in the chaos era. The descendants of purple blood have become believers of Brahma. This is a kind of betrayal. They forget that their ancestors gave them everything. In addition to these, Longchen also found some news about the Holy King's meeting. It was the words that Su Yifeng and Su Shiner, the owner of the Su family, alone called to them. The master of the Su family told them that the Holy King's assembly was a sacrifice, in which there were sacrifices and tributes, and sacrifices were the lives of all living beings. When the sacrifice is finished, the bead will burst. The master of the Su family asks them to absorb more power of qi. Because the Su family's purple blood is declining, they also know that if they fight for enough power of qi transportation, maybe they can bring the purple blood back to life and be ignited again. Therefore, the master of the Su family exhorted us to be calm, save our strength to the end, and strive for the power of luck. However, Su Yifeng and Su Shiner, two spoiled children, didn't take it seriously at all. On the surface, they agreed, but on the back, they still went their own way. After they entered the challenge arena, they even ignored the advice of their master. Before, Su Yifeng suffered a big loss in the hands of Longchen. That's because he didn't want to expose his strength too early, but he was unwilling. So when Longchen and Lien Wuing wanted to fight, he thought he seized the opportunity and wanted to calculate Longchen. But unexpectedly, he is a fortune-teller genius, directly lost his life. Suddenly, Su Yifeng falls off from Longchen's hands. At this time, his eyes have lost their luster, the fire of his soul has been extinguished, and the most arrogant of the Su family has been killed. Just let Longchen disappointed is, don't know is Su Yifeng didn't remember so much, or Su family owner also only know these, didn't mention these Guangzhou things. But when the dragon dust destroyed the pillar of light, it was obvious that some people were very nervous. They must know something. Yifeng. At this time, Su Shiner seems to wake up from a nightmare and catch Su Yifeng, but the invincible Su Yifeng has become a cold corpse. Longchen, you vicious guy, we Su family will never let you go. Su Shiner screamed. Longchen turns his head to look at Su Shiner, and a sinister color appears on the corner of his mouth. A group of fools who are eroded by demon blood. A group of silly dogs who are brainwashed by Defantion, a group of idiots who betray their ancestors. Do you think I will let you go? Defantion and Longchen have a grudge against each other. He can never forget the scene when Tianwu land was destroyed. The voice of Tianwu land praying for him to protect all living creatures still seems to reverberate in his ears. But at that time, Longchen didn't have any resistance against the great Brahma. The strong dragon saved everyone, but failed to save Tianwu. Longchen has been deeply remorseful and remorseful. Yu Qingquan's death makes Longchen make up his mind to fight with Defantion. After Yu Qingxian was accepted as a goddess and used to monitor the descendants of 9 stars, Yu Qingxian died in the arms of Longchen with the appearance of Jiuyo Hunter. All this has been doomed to the resentment between Longchen and Brahma, which can only be washed with blood. The Su family took refuge in Defantion. Longchen himself was also a blood vessel. What he hated most in his life was a traitor. Now, Long Chen understands why the Su family must take Luo Bing and Luo Ning. What they want is their blood. The purity of Luo Bing's and Luo Ning's purple blood is only above average among the disciples of the Luo family, let alone compared with Luo Zichuan's. But even the purity of one or two people's purple blood makes the Su family excited. They want to dig out the whole Luo family through two people, and their purpose is self-evident. Now, with the help of Mingqi, Long Chen has completed the soul search. Although he has not got much, he already knows that the Su family has betrayed purple blood. Today, he is going to clean up the door. Damn it, do you think my Su family is so easy to bully? Blind your dog's eye, today I want you to pay with blood. Su Shiner suddenly yells. The purple gold bell is suspended in front of her chest, and her blood is sprayed on it. The purple golden bell zooms in, and then horror figures come out of the bell. www.novelhold.com, the fastest update of the web novel. Chapter 42-47. Zijin bell vibrated and magnified rapidly. A door of space appeared in the bell. The door of space opened and huge figures appeared one after another. The terrible pressure swept the whole audience. Fierce wind swallows the sky python, blue eye and golden scale carving, blood-patterned saber-toothed tiger. My God, they are all fierce beasts with archaic blood. Aren't they extinct? These three Archean fierce beasts are covered with savage qi. They are all Archean heritages with pure blood. It is said that these beasts were extinct in the War of the Archaic Times. Even one of them is rare to see, but Su Shiner has three. These three archaic beasts are full of terror, but their cultivation is locked in the realm of the immortal king. Obviously, they are all Su Ziner's pets. Pets' accomplishments can't be higher than the owner's. Otherwise it's easy to bite the owner. However, even if their accomplishments are suppressed in the fairyland, their breath still makes countless three extremely powerful people panic. These three fierce beasts came from the Taigu era, and their real combat power is far more than that of modern Tianjiao. After all, the law of heaven and the rich aura of that time were different from those of today. Su Shiner summoned three ancient fierce beasts like mountains and mountains. In a flash, they stood on the top of the blood-striped saber-toothed tiger. The blood-striped saber-toothed tiger roared up to the sky. Its eyes turned into blood color in a flash, and even entered a bloodthirsty state. At the same time, the eyes of the other two Archean fierce beasts also turned red, and the whole body was full of blood and gas, and the violent pressure diffused, and they were ready to fight. Long Chen, are you ready for death? Su Shiner is condescending and looks at Long Chen coldly. I'm always ready to die, but it's not because of you. Dragon Dust Light Tunnel. Long Chen has long been psychologically prepared. He knows that Su Ziner's purple and gold bell is not a fighting immortal artifact at all. At the beginning, she drove Zijin Bell and wanted to take away Zitong Nine-Tailed Fox. Long Chen knew that it was a strange treasure with its own space. Although the strength of the three archaic beasts is amazing, it has not made Long Chen feel afraid. Stupid guy, do you think Su Yifeng was defeated by you? I tell you, he was defeated by his own carelessness. His strength, even 1/10, did not play out, a mistake, leading to his own doom. If you really fight, how can you be his opponent? Su Shiner gnashes her teeth and says that she seems to feel unworthy of Su Yifeng's death. If you Su family have a way to bring him back to life, then I can give him a fair chance to fight. Long Chen rode. You. Su Shiner is so angry that she shivers all over. Su Yifeng has already died. How can she bring the dead back to life? You fool, you haven't seen the battle until now? The guy who fought with you didn't do his best. That's why you're still alive. Cried Su Shiner. Oh, is that the case? Long Chen pretends not to know. Su Shiner said with a sneer, that's because they all intend to keep their strength and fight for the last bead of luck. Don't talk nonsense. Standing in the distance, Lian Wuing's face sank and she yelled. She felt something bad. I'm talking nonsense? You idiots, watching Su Yifeng's death and standing by, blame me for my nonsense? Su Shiner sneers. It's obvious that Su Shiner hates all the people around her. She hates these people for not saving themselves. When he died, it's only because he was not good at learning. He didn't have that ability, but he had to excel. When he died, he couldn't blame others. Lotus Shadowless sneer. He died, can't blame others, then what I say, also can't care about you, you don't fart in the side. Su Shiner sneered. You seek death, Lotus Shadowless immediately kill meaning ascension. Kill me? It depends on whether you have that ability, Su Shiner sneers. She turns her head to look at Long Chen and says, one of the top players on the scene is one of them. They didn't do their best, even half of them didn't work. Their goal is the last bead of qi. Once the sacrifice is completed, the bead of qi will burst. After the beads of qi transport burst, the fragments of qi transport will shoot around. Whoever catches them will absorb qi transport and be blessed by qi transport. Shut up, you crazy woman. Yi Wuchen couldn't help roaring. He stood in the distance, pressing his sword with his hand, looking like he wanted to kill Su Shiner. At that moment, countless strong people in the challenge arena fell into stagnation. They did not expect that Su Shiner knew the secret of the challenge arena, not only Su Shiner, but also many people. Today's Su Shiner seems to be breaking the pot. Everyone listens carefully when he wants to tell the secret. Even the strong men who besieged the Dragon Blood army have eased down. Shut up? Why shut up? Don't you fear that Su Yifeng will fight with you? One less person, you have one more chance. Now, Su Yifeng is dead, and I, Su Shiner, have no interest in fighting for the fragments of qi transportation. I only want the life of Long Chen. But it can't be cheaper for you. Among the Purple Blood Su family's disciples, Su Yifeng and I are the only ones who know the secret. Among the hundreds of millions of people present, less than 100 people know the secret. Hundreds of people share the pearl of fortune? How do you divide this time? A group of idiots work hard under the encouragement of others, but they don't know that you have been trapped by others. Suddenly, the void trembled and a long sword fell in the air. It was Yi Wuchen who started. He couldn't help it. Just at the moment Yi Wuchen starts, Su Shiner doesn't even look at him. The python behind her suddenly spits out a long letter and rolls it to Yi Wuchen accurately. Yi Wuchen's face changed greatly. At the moment when the python vomited his letter, his back was cold, and the threat of death filled his heart. Yi Wuchen's figure disappeared in an instant, and the python's long black letter swept through the void, which was obviously avoided by him. When Yi Wuchen evaded the python's message, countless people exclaimed that a black gap appeared in the void of the python's long letter, which seemed to be a space crack for a long time. Oh my God, even the rules are corrupted. Some people exclaimed that the python's long letter might be highly poisonous. If it was included in the book, I'm afraid there would be no bones left. Want to kill? Dream about it. The strength of the Su family is beyond your imagination. If you think that Su Yifeng is killed, the Su family is so easy to bully. It's blind. Anyway, I'm not going to win the Pearl of Fortune. Since I can't get it, you can't get it easily. Still fighting fools, don't be used by others. Your life and blood are just the key to sacrifice. Isn't it good to fight for the last air transport debris? Your leaders just regard you as tools. Su Shiner sneers. Don't listen to her. She's crazy. Someone yelled. However, the strong men who besieged the Dragon Blood army all stepped back and looked at each other. They didn't know who to listen to, but they felt that Su Shiner's words seemed more true. For a moment, the atmosphere on the battlefield suddenly became strange. www.novelhold.com, the fastest update of the web novel. Chapter 42-48. So we all blame Long Chen and Mo Nian wrongly? Are Long Chen and Mo Nian really going to break this trap to save everyone? Are they so kind? Su Shiner, this is to revenge Lien Wuing and others. Her words should be more reliable. For a time, countless strong people talked in private, and the Terran camp, it is fried pot. Before, someone encouraged the Terran strongman to kill Long Chen and others, but the death and injury of the Terran strongman was the most tragic. Because they started first, the strong of other races came to kill them, they were caught in the middle, they were attacked everywhere, hundreds of millions of strong went out, and only hundreds of thousands came back. These hundreds of thousands of strong men were dumbfounded, surprised and angry at this time, and suddenly someone roared, "Damn you, who just coaxed you? I killed you." These people don't blame themselves for having no brain, but blame those who make a noise in the dark. But at that time, it was so chaotic. Who knows who yelled? Don't believe him. She's with Longchen. She's helping Longchen out. Someone can't help shouting. However, after the man called, he noticed that it was wrong. There were countless people around him who looked at him with disdain. Can this kind of mindless words be called out? Longchen and Su Shiner and then kill Su Yifeng? Don't you see that Su Shiner is going to fight with Longchen? It's because I have to work hard and don't want to take advantage of others that the secret is released. Lian Wang, Yuchen, ghosts and other powerful people have gloomy faces. They want to crush Su Shiner to death. But there are 3 monsters around Su Shiner. Unless they rush in, they will cooperate with each other. If they go alone, they will easily suffer a big loss. Although they hate Su Shiner, they are all experts. They have never joined hands with others in their life. They all have their own pride. If you don't want to take advantage of everyone, why don't you destroy the sacrifice together? No one can share the fate, isn't it better? Dragon Dust Light Tunnel. Ha ha ha. Su Shiner sneered, Longchen, do you think Su Shiner is a fool? You still want to use me? You idiot, you think you can break the sacrifice by destroying 3 pillars of light? Once the sacrifice begins, it can no longer be interrupted. Even if you interrupt all the pillars of light, it's useless. The power of blood and soul can also open the sacrifice. Didn't you notice that the pillar of light that you interrupted has reappeared? Longchen is surprised and looks at the light column interrupted by him. The scene that shocked him appears. Those light columns actually appear again. It's just that these light columns are different from the original ones. They are dark and covered with light blood color. If you don't observe them carefully, you can't even see them. If the light column is not enough, use your life to gather together. As long as your life is enough, even if you interrupt all the light columns, you can also open the sacrifice. However, if you interrupt the 3 pillars of light, you will need more lives to fill in. If you interrupt all of them, the people here will need to die 99%. This is a dead end. If the Pearl of Chi luck doesn't explode, the challenge arena will never disappear, and everyone will be trapped here. So, you don't have to play that smart. All the struggles are futile. If you didn't break the 3 pillars, maybe now the bead of Qi has been opened. Su Shiner is cold. Longchen is surprised. He has searched Su Yifeng's soul, but it's obvious that Su Yifeng doesn't know as much as Su Shiner. He doesn't know whether Su Yifeng didn't remember it at that time or whether the owner of the Su family took care of Su Shiner alone. Longchen, I'm afraid what this woman said is true. At this time, Emon Yen said that the fierce battle between him and Yen Wuji had stopped temporarily. Emon Yen's voice is a little depressed. He has been observing the whole challenge arena, but as Su Shiner said, they are doing useless work. The atmosphere inside the challenge arena is strange, and everyone outside the challenge arena looks at each other, filled with shock. They finally understand that the challenge arena is really a sacrifice. And all the strong in the challenge arena were treated as sacrifices. This Holy King's meeting is a conspiracy, a great conspiracy. But they have no way out of the border. The border can't be broken. If they attack by force, they will only kill themselves. For a moment, countless strong people are like ants on a hot pot. They don't know what to do. After all, not many of the forces know the secret. Now they are all used. They are shocked and angry, but also feel powerless. On the other hand, seeing the end of the war, the people on this side of Lingshao Academy breathed a sigh of relief. Almost everyone was sweating for the disciples of the academy. The battle just now was too frightening. On the side of the Dragon Blood Army, they almost singled out more than half of the creatures in the challenge arena, which was an overwhelming force. Fortunately, they held on. After the shock, people secretly picked the thumbs up for the Dragon Blood Legion. The fighting power of the Dragon Blood Legion was terrible. From top to bottom, they were the strong among the strong and the elite among the elite. What shocked them most was that the cooperation of the Dragon Blood soldiers was so wonderful that it seemed that thousands of people concentrated their strength together with one mind. The terrible lethality, even the Heaven God, was scared. The battle in the challenge arena is suspended, and the strong people outside are a little relieved. They focus on Long Chen and Su Shiner, because their next actions will affect the direction of the whole challenge arena. What's the point of telling me that? It seems that now your words are very beneficial to me. It can't be that you've long been unhappy with Su Yifeng. I killed him. You're very grateful to me and then you want to do me a favor. Longchen rode. Su Shiner gritted her teeth and said, "Thank you? I want to eat your meat and drink your blood. I want to end this boring war of attrition and go straight to the theme." Oh, what's the theme? Longchen doesn't understand. It's meaningless to use the life of some minions to open the bead of Qi movement. I want to use the lives of all of you to open the bead of Qi Yun. I want you to watch the people around you die one by one. Su Shiner has a gloomy face. With your strength, I'm afraid this great wish will never come true. Dragon Dust Light Tunnel. Yes? Not really? Now the minions are not willing to go all out. If you want to open the Pearl of Qi, you just need to kill all your people. You only need the best ones to kill them in an instant. Su Shiner is cold. Will they follow your orders? Longchen asked. Of course not, but they don't have a choice, otherwise we'll spend it like this. Now your people have gone through a big war, and their combat effectiveness is huge. Now they are vulnerable to attack. If they are willing to give them time to recover, it doesn't matter to me. It depends on who is better than who. As Su Shiner talks, she looks at Lien Wuing and others. How can you just pick up a bargain and not work hard? Lien Wuing and others look gloomy and don't speak, but Su Shiner looks like a winner. She looks at Long Chen and says, "You killed my relatives, and I want you to watch your relatives one by one. I won't kill you right away, but I will stop you from saving them. I want you to realize what is despair and what is powerlessness." All of a sudden, Su Shiner's three archaic beasts move. They are in the shape of pin and surround the dragon dust in the middle. www.novelhold.com, the fastest update of the web novel. Chapter 42-49, The three beasts surround Longchen. Their position is very particular. No matter which direction Longchen runs away from, they will be attacked at the same time. Just now Yi Wuchen almost suffered a big loss. Fortunately, he retreated quickly. Now three terrible beasts surrounded Longchen, and Longchen fell into a passive position. However, even if surrounded by three fierce beasts, Longchen's face was still expressionless, and even his eyes didn't fluctuate. "I've trapped him. It's your problem whether I can do it or not. Anyway, no one wants to be cannon fodder now. It's up to you whether you want to open the bead of Qi transportation." Su Shiner is cold. Obviously, her words are for Lien Wuing and others. Her goal is Longchen. She doesn't care about the others. As for how to choose, it depends on Lien Wuing and others. Lien Wuing and others look gloomy. They don't expect that they will be calculated by Su Shiner. Originally, they retained their strength in order to fight for the air transport debris. Now, Su Shiner is forcing them to take revenge for their inaction. Lien Wuing and others are not afraid of war, but they want to keep their strength until the end. At least when they fight for the fragments of Qi transportation, they should be in full swing. After all, air transport debris is not only related to their future, but also related to the rise and fall of their racial power. They dare not be careless. Originally, the use of those weak to open the beads of Qi, everything is safe, but now Su Shiner has been destroyed. The weak are not fools. When they hear that this is a plot, they are not willing to work hard. They also want to save their lives to fight for the fragments of Qi transportation. Although the opportunity is very slim, but there are still some, even if not, it is better than being used by others. For a moment, there was silence in the arena. Lien Wuing and others didn't want to fight. On the one hand, they were afraid of wasting their energy. On the other hand, They didn't want to be manipulated by Su Shiner. And Long Chen doesn't move. He's waiting for the news of Emon Yen. At this time, Emon Yen makes him deliberately procrastinate. He wants to see if he can find out the flaw of De Zhen. As time went by, finally Lian Wang couldn't help it. She said coldly, Su Shiner, if you can survive after the Holy King's meeting, Lian Wang will let you understand what is more painful than death. Ooh, with a wave of Lian Wuing's hand, hundreds of strong people of the undead came out of the team. Without exception, all of these people are the most powerful of all ethnic groups. Hundreds of super strong people gathered together. Lian Wuing did not speak and looked at others. Yi Wuchen Cold Hum also stood out. At the same time hundreds of Yi family Tianjiao also stood out. The void trembles, ghosts appear, and hundreds of figures appear behind him like ghosts. Then there are more than a dozen strong demons, leading thousands of demons to come out. Some of them come out from neutral areas. Obviously, at this time, they are no longer allowed to preserve their strength. The Xingue clan came out, the Tianhu clan also appeared, and the Kunping clan came out. To everyone's surprise, there were dozens of forces in the monster clan, even more than the demon clan. However, when the Moon Watchers came out, countless people exclaimed. Instead of gathering, they went to the Dragon Blood Army camp. What's the situation? Countless people were stunned, and then in the gape of countless people, Su Changchuan led the strong one of the Moon Watchers, so he integrated into the camp of Longchen. Moon Watchers, do you want to betray the whole monster family? There was a roar. Well, if you treat others as fools, they can't resist. It's you, not the whole demon family, that I want to deal with. We need to get justice for those demon warriors who died. Is there a problem? Su Changchuan responded with a sneer. You. The roaring man was speechless. Su Changchuan was standing in the Dragon Blood Army, and he really came to deal with them. Although they are powerful, they can't represent the whole monster family. Now they have come forward, which shows that they all know the inside story. They are wrong first, and they really have no right to blame the Moon Watchers. When the Moon Watchers come to the Longchen camp, they don't betray the monster clan, and they are still fighting for justice. Those powerful monsters can't argue. Bang bang. There was a shaking in the void, and thousands of tall men came out. They were big, muscular, dressed in animal skins, like savages. When they saw these people, countless people exclaimed and recognized their identity, barbarians. Before, these people had been on the edge of the challenge arena, and no one noticed them, but now they came out and scared everyone. The history of the barbarians can be traced back to the Chaos Era. It is said that they once dominated an era, and no one dares to question the bravery of the barbarians. However, in modern times, the barbarians have almost disappeared. Many people think that the barbarians have disappeared. Now these big men, who are full of chi and blood, stand up like dragons. People can hardly believe their eyes. But what surprised everyone was that no one had noticed them before. Bang bang. They tread on the void with heavy steps, just like walking on a board. Some people even worry that they will blow up the void. There are not many strong barbarians, but people are shocked that 8 of them are carrying a huge bed on which lies a strong man with blood tattoos. The big man was sleeping in bed, snoring like thunder, letting the strong barbarians carry him, as if immersed in a dream. When I saw that big man, even if he was calm as Long Chen, I couldn't help but get excited. At that moment, his eyes were red. This silly boy, who had worried him for a long time, unexpectedly appeared at this time, and it looked very comfortable. Guoran, Xia Chen and others yelled with excitement when they saw him. After a long time no see, Amon grew up a lot. Although he was asleep, he was lying on the armpit of the barbarian soldiers. If he stood up, he would be more frightening. Our king is still sleeping. He can't wake up. A barbarian soldier has some helplessness. Guoran and others quickly welcome Amon in. The Dragon Blood soldiers are excited to see Amon. However, although they know that Amon is simple and easygoing, they are still shocked to see what Amon looks like today. Amon's appearance is the same as before, but he is bigger. His chi and blood are like a sleeping volcano. Once it erupts, It seems that he can destroy the world. Standing beside him, you can feel the blood flowing in his body, as if the magma is flowing, and you can hear the surging sound. You should know that Amon is still sleeping, his body is at the lowest ebb, and his chi and blood are so terrible. If he wakes up, what kind of state will it be? When will he wake up? Guoran couldn't help asking. Our king just met a group of Tianhu 10 days ago. After eating enough, he has been sleeping all the time. The barbarian warrior. What? You killed the snow mountain of our Tianhu clan? The strong man of the Tianhu clan roared. www.novelhold.com, the fastest update of the web novel. Chapter 4250. Originally, there were two branches of the Tianhu family, one was stationed in the Forbidden Area of Life, and the other in Qianmen Snow Mountain. This time, the two branches of the Holy King's Congress are going to join together, but they have been waiting for a long time, but they have not seen the Snow Mountain branch coming, and they can't even find it. Now hearing that the branch met the barbarians, the strong members of the Tianhu clan suddenly changed their faces and yelled, "I didn't kill you." The strong barbarian shook his head. And where are they? The strong of the Tianhu clan are very happy. Here it is. The barbarian strong man pointed to Amon's stomach. What do you mean? The strong men of the Tianhu clan were stunned. It was eaten by our king. 300,000 little tigers were all eaten by the king. The king ate too much, so they all slept for 10 days. That barbarian strong way. When the dragon blood soldiers heard the words of the barbarian strongman, their mouths were wide open. Amon ate all the 300,000 monsters. However, the strong barbarian, with an honest face, seemed not to be a liar. Not only on the challenge arena, but also the strong people outside the challenge arena are stupid. They are the tigers. Among the 300,000 strong members of the Tianhu clan, at least a few of them are born gods, and there are thousands of kings. Have they all been eaten? How can this be believed? You fart. The strong men of the Tianhu clan roar. Obviously they can't believe it. No, we barbarians only shit, not fart. The strong barbarian shook his head and said honestly, "You." That day, the tiger's strong man trembled with anger. He thought that the barbarian strong man was deliberately angry with him. In fact, he wronged that man. The barbarian strong man really didn't have that ability. What's your name, brother? Guoran especially liked these strong barbarians and asked quickly. My name is Manfong. My mother said it was very windy that day, so she called me Manfong. Manfong scratched his head and felt embarrassed. The appearance of Manfong is almost the same as before, which makes people familiar with him feel more friendly. Well, what do you mean, barbarians? Are you going to join Longchen and be our enemy? Yi Wuchen cheers coldly. Manfong shook his head and said, I don't know. Before we came out, the patriarch said that we should listen to the arrangement of the king. The king said that we should listen to the arrangement of Brother Long. What nonsense is that? Yi Wuchen frowned and said he didn't understand what this guy meant. I'm sorry, I'm stupid. I don't know how to talk. Would you like to wait for our Wang to wake up and ask our Wang okay? Manfong apologized. Don't do that. Since you're standing there, you're going to die. Some people are impatient. Although the barbarians have a terrible reputation, one of them is tall and big. It looks scary, but all of them are stupid. There seems to be no threat. Thank you for your concern. We barbarians like to eat meat. We have a big appetite. We are very fat and thin. Manfong replied honestly. Looking at Manfong's simple and honest face, Bai Shishir and others almost laughed. The speaker was so angry that he thought that Manfong was deliberately insulting him. Brother Manfong, don't talk nonsense with them. After a while, they'll come and we'll just beat him. Guoran said with a smile. Good, a simple smile. Barbarian soldiers, enter the camp and find a place to put down on. Amon is still sleeping. Manfong explained to the public that their king was very good at eating. A meal could eat the daily ration of thousands of them. But last time I ate too much, so I need to go into a deep sleep to digest. When they were asked how many strong men Amon ate, Man Feng and others were confused. They didn't know what the cultivation realm was. They could only compare the size. Everyone was confused. They couldn't figure out what level of strong men Amon ate. Just when Amon and others arrived, the strong people on the opposite side were still gathering, and the princesses of the Night Clan, the strong people of the Netherworld, and the pride of the Blood Clan all poured out one after another. In addition to Yi Wuchen, the strong members of other immortal families also appeared one after another, except for the Jiang family and the Long family. What do the Jiang family and the Long family mean? Everyone has come out. Do you want to preserve your strength and finally fight for the fragments of air transport? Are you not afraid of being attacked by a group at that time? Zhao Tianjiao sneered. In fact, Zhao Jiaqiang has never made a move. Although Tianjiao of Zhao family participated in the fierce battle, he never showed up. But now that everyone has come forward, he has to come forward. The Jiang family doesn't want to go through this muddy water. Feng Fei stood out and said with a smile. What do you mean? Zhao Jiaqiang is cold and honest. It's not interesting. I'm afraid of the Jiang family. To be honest, I'm afraid of that guy. I don't want to offend him. But Zhao Xingtian, you don't have to worry. I said that the Jiang family won't go through this muddy water. That is to say, we Jiang family members won't attack Longchen or fight for the fragments of qi transportation. Frankly speaking, we abstained. Jiang Fengfei's light tunnel. Feng Fei's words moved countless people. What's the situation of the immortal family Jiang family? As for Lian Fengfei, there are 3 peerless conceits in the Jiang family. Although they are not the strongest among the 8 aristocratic families, they can definitely rank in the top 3 in terms of the overall strength of the younger generation. It's really puzzling to have such a powerful force and even abstain directly. You know, although the barbarians and the Moon Watchers joined Longchen at this time, the situation was extremely unfavorable to them. The strength of the 2 sides was so different that there was no comparison at all. You know, this is the battle of the top strong. Ordinary strong people will be killed in an instant. Maybe Longchen and others can support for a while, but Xingazong, Lingshao Academy, Zanshendian and those strong people who support Longchen will be destroyed in an instant. Once they die, the power of these blood souls will be enough to open the bead of qi transportation, and then we can easily grab the fragments of qi transportation. The most important thing is that they don't have to kill the top strong like Longchen. As long as they kill all the weak around Longchen, they can get benefits. Feng Fei doesn't pick up the ready-made cheap. Well, that's what you said. If you can't help fighting then, don't blame us for fighting together and killing you. Zhao Xingtian sneered. Don't worry. Our Jiang family always means what they say. 1 spit and 1 decision. This is different from your Zhao family. Feng Fei sneered. You. Zhao Xingtian's face sank, and Feng Fei's last sentence mocked the Zhao family. Speaking it out in front of so many people was tantamount to smoking the Zhao family's face. However, Zhao Xingtian is also clever. Instead of refuting Feng Fei about this, he looks at Long Outyin. As soon as he is about to speak, Long Outyin coldly says, "Shut up and kill you." www. Novelhold.com, the fastest update of the web novel. Chapter 4251. Long Outyin had a dialogue with Long Chen before, but he never said a word after that. He was still in the Long family camp, looking at all this coldly. Now Zhao Xingtian's eyes are on the Jiang family and the Long family. The Jiang family says that they will not go to this muddy water. Now Zhao Xingtian's eyes are on Long Outyin, and he is directly rebuffed by Long Outyin. You! Zhao Xingtian was furious. Shut your mouth, I'm proud to act. I don't need anyone to tell me what to do, and I don't need to explain to anyone. You can do whatever you want. I can do whatever I want. No one can force me to be Long Outyin. My goal is Longchen. If Longchen wants to kill me, I will kill anyone who dares to get in my way. Zhao Xingtian, you'd better not touch Laozi's head. Otherwise, today next year will be your sacrifice time. Along Cold Days Tunnel. Long Chen has been dealt with by Su Shiner. Do you want to take advantage of it? Zhao Xingtian sneered. What is Su Shiner? With one of her worms, a chicken, a kitten, also want to block the dragon dust? It's a big joke. If Long Chen was really so weak, he would have been killed by me and he would have got you? Long Outyen sneers. In the mouth of Long Outyen, the ancient fierce beast, the fierce wind swallowing the sky python, the blue-eyed golden scale carving, and the blood-tattooed saber-toothed tiger, are said to be worms, chickens, and kittens. Countless people are shocked. You fart, you are nothing, dare to evaluate my pet. Su Shiner cheered coldly. A bunch of ignorant idiots, you don't know how stupid you are. Long Outyen sneers. Instead of paying attention to Su Shiner, he looks at Long Chen. When are you going to hide your strength? Every time I want to be a pig and eat a tiger, is that interesting? I never wanted to be a pig and eat a tiger, and I disdain to do that, but my fight has never been fair. My enemies are always so many, always one to many. I have to calculate all my strength to deal with the unknown danger. If God can give me a chance to fight fairly, I can break out with all my strength, and I can be simple and rude. Unfortunately, God won't give me this chance. Dragon Dust Light Tunnel. Long Chen is different from others. In a battle like this, he has to fight fiercely in the most labor-saving way, not only calculating his own strength, but also the strength of his comrades in arms. He can't make mistakes, because once he makes mistakes, it means that someone will lose his life. Long Outyen and others can be unscrupulous, because they have many people, and they don't care about others. It's funny. In the face of absolute power, any calculation is a lie. Long Outyen sneers. Yes, since you are so confident, how about you just kill them all, and then we have a fair fight one-on-one? Long Chen rode. You. Who can't brag? You want to fight me fair and you're afraid to fight me fair. You have been defeated in my hands for countless times. You have lost confidence in me. You are not sure to defeat me. You are waiting for an opportunity. You are waiting for me to fight with me after consuming some strength. Long Chen disdains the tunnel. You fart, this time, it's Long Aotian's turn to twist his face. Long Chen's words, like a poisonous needle, pierce his heart. Because what Long Chen said is the truth. Last time in the catacombs, he and Long Chen launched a world-shaking war. That time, it can be said, was the most confident time for him, because from the mortal world to the fairyland, he has been promoted too much, has already completed the transformation, he has not been the Dragon Outyen. At that time, he was confident, but he didn't expect to be defeated by Long Chen. This time, he made a major breakthrough again. Even the ancestors of the dragon family said that Long Outyen was the most gifted wizard he had ever seen in his life. In today's world, it's very difficult to find another opponent in the same level. He can get the approval of his ancestors. It can be said that he is the only one in the dragon family. At this Holy King meeting, he was full of confidence, but he didn't know why. After seeing Long Chen, his rock-solid confidence began to shake. In fact, there are two sounds echoing in Longeo's celestial body. One is to let him take action immediately to crush Long Chen with the strongest posture. And another voice, let him can't be rash, he is not the opponent of Long Chen, want to kill Long Chen, must wait until Long Chen weak time. During this period of time, Long Outyen didn't say a word because he was struggling. His two voices were like the whispers of demons, which almost made him crazy. He was calm on the surface, but he was suffering from contradictions in his heart. He didn't know what to do. His weakness was pointed out by Long Chen face to face. At that moment, Lan Gao was shocked and angry, and his mood was out of control for a moment. There's no way. He has been defeated many times in the hands of Long Chen, and has already produced a heart demon. Although Longjia has tried various ways to help him suppress the heart demon, he still can't completely erase his fear of Long Chen. Someone in the Long family suggested that the seal of Long Outyen should be sealed. After Long Chen is killed, he should be unsealed. But the dragon family thinks that this is the next choice. If the dragon dust dies, the dragon Aotian's demons can no longer be eliminated. In order to completely eliminate the demons, Long Outyen must defeat Long Chen himself, so that his future achievements will not be affected. Therefore Long Outyen has come. His goal this time is Long Chen. For Long Outyen, it is more important to defeat Long Chen than to get the bead of Qi. However, as soon as Long Chen opened his mouth, he hit the key point of Long Aotian. Looking at Long Aotian's twisted face and angry appearance, the strong men of the dragon family outside the challenge arena could not help sighing. It's really no good. Just beat Long Chen seriously and let Aotian kill him. An old man of the dragon family said. If Long Chen was present, he would recognize that this man was not someone else. It was the 8 elders of the dragon family who came to the door. In addition to the dragon in the wild, there are also a few old people with sea-like breath. Obviously, they are all strong at the level of heaven. Among them, one of them is in the first place. The old man has a serious face and looks dignified. They are both sons of the dragon family. Why do they have to fight each other? My father's eyes are not far enough. The old man looked at Long Chen and his eyes were complicated. As soon as the old man opened his mouth, the faces of the elders around him changed. Is this a direct criticism of the old man? Elder, you're a bit rebellious. Aren't you afraid to spread it to my grandfather and make him unhappy? 8 elder can't help away. It's a fact. What's the difference between happy and unhappy? It's a pity that there are always a group of people around him who only know how to flatter. They are making up their minds and doing harm to others. The old man snorted coldly. This old man is the first of the 8 elders to protect the dragon. He has a very high seniority. It is said that he is of the same generation as his ancestors and has a very special status in the dragon family. The 8 elders' face changed slightly, but he didn't dare to say anything. However, deep in his eyes, he was resentful. He didn't dare to look at the elder for fear that he would be seen by the elder. The elder didn't look at the 8 elders, but at Long Chen and Longation in the challenge arena. At this time, Longaotian's big hand had slowly grasped the hilt of the sword, and the horror of killing spread. www.novelhold.com, the fastest update of the web novel. Chapter 4252 Long Chen looked into Long Aotian's eyes and said, In your eyes I see anger and fear. You are eager to defeat me, but you are afraid of failure. You want to fight in my heyday to achieve fame and eliminate demons. But you are not absolutely sure. This time, you do not want to fail, do not dare to fail. You are afraid that once you lose, you will never stand up, no longer have the courage to fight with me. You are contradictory. And the most important reason for your contradiction is that you have no confidence to defeat me. Shut up. Long Aotian roars, his hand shaking, but he never draws the sword. Really, since you don't have the courage to act like a wolf with a big tail, the life of Long Chen is mine, and none of you can take it away. If you continue to talk nonsense, people over there will begin to recover. Do you want to open the pearl of Qi? Su Shiner said impatiently. Long Chen, you've irritated me. That's good. I'll let you know what it means to be miserable now. Long Aotian suddenly has a gloomy smile on his mouth. His eyes look at the dragon blood army. Buzz, behind the dragon Aotian, the colorful divine light surges, and the vast divine power erupts. As Long Chen's face changed, his eyes were full of cold killing intention. Long Aotian, you despicable beast. A gloomy smile appears on the corner of Long Aotian's mouth. He suddenly finds the fatal weakness of Long Chen. He steps out and is the first to kill the dragon blood army. Looking for death, Long Chen is so angry that Long Aotian doesn't dare to fight with him and attacks the dragon blood army. Be honest, at the moment of Dragon Dust's fury, Su Shiner gives a sneer and makes a seal with her hands. 3 archaic beasts attack at the same time and go straight to Dragon Dust to kill. Death, with a roar of dragon dust, the sound of dragon chanting is loud, the dragon claw is agitated, and a giant dragon claw comes out from the divine ring behind. The huge dragon's claws block out the sky and head straight to Su Shiner and the giant tiger she sits down with. Su Shiner is shocked to find that the giant tiger under her suddenly becomes stiff. The roar of dragon dust contains the will of the dragon. The dragon is the ruler of all scales and the emperor of all beasts. Even the ancient fierce beast is suppressed in front of Long Wei. Long Chen is not a strong dragon, not a real dragon, but his will is strong, blood and will combine to form a unique dragon power, can also frighten animals. Although this kind of dragon awe can only last for blinking time, and the distance cannot be too far, it is enough for Longchen. Poof! When the dragon's claws fall, the ancient fierce saber-toothed tiger is crushed by the dragon's claws without even humming, with blood flying and bones flying. What? People exclaimed, such a terrible beast was killed by Longchen? At the same time, people think that Long Outyen said before that Su Shiner wanted to stop Longchen with 3 fierce beasts, which was just wishful thinking. Now Longchen's attack proves that what Long Outyen said is right. Su Shiner chooses to escape at the first time when the dragon claw comes. She avoids the blow by a hair's breadth. Her face turns white in a flash. Just a little bit, she is crushed by the dragon dust. The blood opens the soul lock, the animal blood returns to the Yuan. All of a sudden, Su Shiner's whole body is full of purple blood. The runes on the foreheads of her other 2 fierce beasts burst open. That's their soul seal. Su Shiner didn't care that the fierce beasts ate the master and untied their seals. When the seal of the 2 fierce beasts was untied and the fury of their breath gushed, people were shocked to find that these 2 fierce beasts were all born in heaven. Boom! 2 archaic beasts are unsealed, and the wind-swallowing python suddenly grows big mouth. A huge whirlpool stirs up and even covers Longchen and Su Shiner. People are shocked that once the seal is unsealed, the archaic beast will kill both sides. Originally, after Longchen killed the saber-toothed tiger, he was going to chase Long Outyen. Now the void trembled, and he was attracted. He couldn't help but get angry. Boss, give me these 3 things. At this time, the whole body of Longchen suddenly flows in space, and the body of Longchen is involuntarily transported out of the vortex range. Dragon Dusta look, suddenly is white Xiaola, his eyes, 3 pupil flow, shoulder also lying on a small fox. All right. Longchen is worried. Don't worry, her purple and golden bell is a treasure. It belongs to me. Our brothers are going to be ashamed before snow. Bai Xiaola didn't speak, but Zitong Jue Fox rushed to speak. Damned smelly woman, offended Jui, I want you to look good today. Who? Suddenly, the purple pupil 9-tailed fox suddenly shakes, and its body grows rapidly and returns to its original size. It is a wild alien in itself, and has a great reputation in history. At this time, it shows the noumenon, and the 9-tailed fox vibrates like a rising flame. Who? The purple pupil 9-tailed fox suddenly opened its mouth, and a bloody divine light shot out, straight to the whirlpool of wind swallowing the sky python. The explosion broke out of the sky. Death, seeing Zitong 9-tailed fox kill, Su Shiner was surprised and angry. She stood on the top of the blue-eyed golden scale carving and controlled it to kill Zitong 9-tailed fox. At this time, Su Shiner's face is pale, and there is purple blood in her eyes. Obviously, she has untied the seal of fast wind swallowing sky python and blue-eye golden scale carving. If she wants to control it again, she needs to pay a terrible price. Xiaola, the purple pupil 9-tail fox stops drinking, and Bai Xiaola immediately understands. He makes a seal with both hands. Just at the moment when he makes the seal, 3 flower groups appear in the huge pupil of the purple pupil 9-tail fox. 3 flower wall, Zitong Jiwei demon fox and Bai Xiaola stop drinking at the same time. The 3 flowers flow in their pupils, and the void vibrates. A huge 3-flower pattern appears on the void, just like a bright shield in front of them. Bang! The 3-flower giant shield appeared abruptly, without any sign in advance. The blue-eyed golden scale carving controlled by Su Shiner was flying rapidly, and it hit the 3-flower giant shield. With a bang, the huge shield vibrated, and in the spread of huge ripples, endless bird hair flew. The blue-eyed golden scale carving was smashed half of its body. Su Shiner, on the blue-eyed golden scale carving, summons the purple golden bell at the critical moment, bumps into Sanhua's giant shield, and is bounced out. Although she has saved her life, she is shocked to dizziness. Su Shiner's eyes are full of fear. She didn't expect that the fox, who wanted to be a pet, had such terrible power that it could use pupil technique. At this time, Su Shiner was so scared that she no longer had the arrogance and self-confidence she had before. She flew away with a purple gold bell on her head and ran away. Where to go? Leave the bell to the ninth master. See Su Shiner unexpectedly escape. Purple pupil nine-tail fox big drink. Nine-tail tremble will chase. At this moment, the wind-swallowing python didn't know when it came to its feet and entangled it in an instant. Nine-tail off lock. Purple pupil nine-tail fox a break drink. Nine tails bloom out of different colors. Poof! The fierce wind-swallowing python, which entangles the purple pupil nine-tailed fox, was suddenly burst by nine-tailed python before it could use the magic power, and the blood was all over the sky. Give the bell to the ninth master. Purple pupil nine-tail fox out of trouble, like a meteor in front of Su Shiner chase. www.novelhold.com, the fastest update of the web novel. You're tuning in to the Passion Pages YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.